Welcome to the Roadrunner 89 Swirl to Investment Network, where we talk about interracial love and marriage. Hope you enjoy Swirl to Investment.
How's everybody doing? Just sitting here on Waikiki, out on the beach in Honolulu, and today is our last day. So me and Sandy and the family are spending our last day out here, and you can see a lot of people are out here even on a Monday. But you know, I want to talk about one thing, and swirling to investment. That's what my channel's about. That's what I talk about all the time. And I think when you talk about interracial dating and marriage, you know, it's an investment. And we're finding out the marriage stats, when it's black women and white men, is the best option, statistically. Now, it all comes down to character and the people that are in the relationship. But, you know, we're finding out that black women, white men are more alike than we even thought, more successful when it comes to relationships. And, you know, I've experienced it in my life, with my marriage, 29 years. I talk about that all the time. And I just want people to know that you can find love, happiness, with someone that don't look like you. Don't have to be where you're from. Don't have to look like you. You know, but I found a lot of value in black women through the years. And, you know, and I know people are probably listening to me thinking, what's this guy talking about? But you know what I'm talking about. You know, swirl to investment means something. It means a relationship that leads two people come together from a different racial group and invest in each other, into marriage, into a family, legacy. And I like to say love, loyalty, and legacy, the 3 L's, you know. And we're winning. Black women, white men are winning. You know, not all the relationships work, but statistically we are the best option for each other. And we need to embrace that instead of trying to hide from it, trying to act like it don't exist. But anyway, I hope you enjoy the scenery, you know, and I'll talk to you soon. Swirl to investment. All right, how's everybody doing tonight? Happy Saturday night, everybody. That video I showed was old video I did. Well, it was last year when me, my wife, kids, and grandkids, the whole family, we went to Hawaii, and we had a good time. You see the intro where we're parasailing and talking on the beach over in Waikiki. That it was exciting. It was fun. I do have a video where I swimming with the turtles. I'll have to show you guys that one. Um, but we had a great time in our vacation. It was one of those once in a lifetime family vacations. But it was truly worth it. Um, I didn't show none of my kids or grandkids because of the trolls, because they'll stir up havoc and attack my family because they don't agree with what I say. You know how that goes. But we had a good time. It was family time. It was a blast. We spent a week in Hawaii, and oh man, I didn't want to leave. I tell you, if I was a millionaire and I could afford to live there, I would, literally. But it was fun. It was great. Um, you know, Tonight I want to talk about. You see the topic, right? White men should invest in black women for love and marriage. Okay, I strongly agree with that. I think black women and white men are the best option for each other. And I know that triggers people, but it's true. If we look at the numbers, the statistics, black women, white men do better with each other than our counterparts in our own community. Um, and you know, it's true. And not all relationships work. I know our haters will find some white guy doing something wrong with a black woman and say, see, that's how they all are, which is untrue. There are good and bad in every group. But when we look at success stats, when we look at long lasting marriages, okay, black women and white men lead the way, okay, hands down. Okay. And really, it's not even close. Even with a black couple and a white couple, we lead the way. And, it's a beautiful thing. And with society the way it is, the way marriages are not lasting, a lot of divorces, heck, a lot of people not even getting married. I think at times we gotta, embrace that shining light we do have, and the blessing we do have. Um, and I'm going to talk about, and this is a lot of this video is talking to white men or non-black men, why they should consider opening up their options to black women, investing in black women. I talk about swirl to investment. Okay. I'm down with a swirl as long as it leads to investment. Okay. I'm traditional in that. I believe in love and marriage. I believe a man and a woman come together having a family. Okay. I believe in it traditionally. I don't believe in, shacking up and having children out of wedlock. I don't. Now, people can do what they want. Okay. But when it comes to marriage, black women and white men do the best. They do. Okay. Before I get going with my slides, okay, because I have some slides and I have some videos, and I'm going to drop the link tonight. I would like people to come up and talk, okay, about this thing. This thing is a serious thing, okay, and I believe we're missing out on a blessing, in the collective of black women, white men, because of the barriers, because we think certain things about each other and the stereotypes and the propaganda. Sometimes black women and white men don't come together, when under normal circumstances they would. And some of them want to come together, and there is a big fight to keep black women and white men apart. Okay. It's not illegal to be together, but there's still haters. There's still people that want to a false narrative on black women and white men that want to try to stop that union from taking place. Will they stop it? Of course not. Okay. But a lot of people get hurt along the way because you have good people, black women, white men, that would love to be with each other. But because of family and so-called friends, sometimes the connection don't happen. Okay. Um, but with all that, black women and white men marriages are increasing as we speak every day. And it ain't going to be stopped. They might slow it down, but they can't stop it. Okay? No one should be stopped for being with who they want to be with, regardless of who that is. Okay? I support interracial relationships between all men and women of all colors. Okay? I want to make that clear. Just because I promote black women and white men don't mean I'm against the other groups. I'm not. Okay? I'm just pointing out stats and what's going on. Okay? I'm putting out the truth. Right? But anyway, all right, let me put up the copyright disclaimer real quick. Okay, fair use. We're going to be using some videos, primarily TikTok, and we're doing it for fair use for educational purposes, for commentary, um, and research. All right, that's what we're going to use it for. So if you want to see the copyright disclaimer, just scroll back and you can see it. Okay, there it is. And then the copyright statement. You want to use my material, you need to get permission. Okay, those that don't get my permission, I will be seeking compensation for using my material. Okay, it might not come right away, but I'm going to do that because it's mine and you want to use it, get permission. Email me um anytime. Okay, all right. Okay, let's go over some slides real quick. Okay, all righty. Let's see which. Okay, I got one slide that says white men should consider opening their options, and I got one that says black women should. Okay, um, all right. I'm gonna put this slide up here. Okay, let me take down that logo. Okay, so you guys can see it. Okay, why white men should invest in black women? Okay, white men. Okay, you should consider opening up your options to black women when it comes to love and marriage. Okay, black women statistically are the better option for white men and also non-black men. Okay, and I'm going to tell you some reasons why you need to consider opening up your options to black women. Okay, hello Noletti, good to see you. Number one, black women, okay, are the most loving, most loyal, and most nurturing. Okay, we say that black women are the most race loyal. Okay, black women are the least likely to date and marry outside the race of any group. Okay, they're pretty loyal. People say that they're race loyal. Okay, um, some yes, but I disagree. I believe black women are love loyal. Okay, black women are loyal to the men they love. Okay, whether he be black, white, Asian, or whatever. Black women are most commonly with black men because they grow up around black men. Black men are in their community. So, and most people date and marry within their race. Okay. But if a black woman loves you, you know it, and you're going to be blessed. Okay. We're seeing black women that are loyal to white men and other groups of men that they fall in love with, just like they were with black men. Okay. Now the majority stay within their race like every group. Okay. But black women are very loving. They're very loyal. They're nurturing. Okay. Black women have a tendency to bring the best out of their men, regardless of the color. That's why we're seeing data where white men are doing better with black women, and other groups of non black men are doing better with black women than women in their own group statistically. Okay. Just because they don't do it most of the time, when they do it, they have the best results. Okay. And that's what we need to focus on, results. Okay. Listen to me, white men, non black men. Okay. Black women are a true blessing. Okay. They're loving, they're loyal, they're nurturing. Okay. If you touch her heart, you will be blessed. Okay. And I've seen it happen many times. Now, are all black women amazing and great? No, not all. Okay. There's good and bad in all groups, but statistically, black women are that better option. They are that more loving option, the more loyal option. Okay. Um, and it's sad that in the black community, the men aren't marrying the women in the community. Okay. Only 27 to 25% of black women are married. Okay. This is an opportunity, and black women outnumber black men by over 2 million. So, white men, non black men, there's an opportunity there. Now, if your heart isn't into the black woman and you don't truly love the black woman, stay away from the black woman. But if you love her with all your heart and you could appreciate her love and her beauty, spiritually, emotionally, physically, okay? Um, and your heart's right, you need to consider the black woman. Okay, number two, black women are the most educated. Okay, that's a true statement. They are the most educated. That shows character that black women have. That's another awesome trait. Now, should education be a deal breaker? No, I don't think so, but it does show character. It does show black women improving themselves constantly. Okay. Now, black women are strategic, okay, and resilient, very resilient. Even though black women a lot of times have things stacked against them, they find a way to be resilient, to adapt and overcome. Black women are amazing at that, okay? And black women are strategic. When they come together in love and marriage, they want more than just the here and now. Okay. All right. Number three, black women are the most beautiful spiritually, emotionally, and physically. Okay. If you truly love a black woman, you're going to see these three qualities. You're going to notice the beauty she has in her spirituality. Okay. You're going to see black women of faith. Black women are very spiritual. Okay. And black women are very emotional. Okay. And emotion is a beautiful thing. Okay. Black women have a big heart, so of course they're going to be emotional. They're the most beautiful emotionally. You connect with a black woman spiritually, emotionally, you will be deep in love. Okay. And then also physically. Yes, black women are beautiful physically. Okay. But you need to have the spiritual and emotional before you get to the physical in the relationship. Okay. But in all three areas, black women are the most beautiful. Okay. Some people say, well, that's your opinion, Roadrunner. That's what you think. But really, it's true. Black women are the most spiritual women on this planet. They're the most emotional. And you want a woman that's emotional. You got to connect emotionally. Love isn't emotional. And physically, they're beautiful. Okay. Cannot deny it. All right. Number 4, 44% less chance of a divorce when a white man marries a black woman. Okay? White men, non-black men. Look at this stat. Okay, white men, when you decide to open up your options and choose the black woman, your divorce rate goes down. 44% less chance of a divorce than you would have married to a white woman. Let that sink in. Even with the stereotypes, even with the propaganda, even with the cultural differences, white men do better with black women. It just is the way it's the way it is. It is what it is. And black women do better with white men. So black women, white men, what are you doing? I'm just saying. Okay, number 5, black women, white men marriages are the most successful and longest lasting statistically. Now, does every black woman, white man relationship work? No. Okay. There's failure in every group, but they are the most successful statistically, and numbers don't lie. Okay. Something's going on there. We're seeing character within black women. Okay. Now, number 6, black women, white men marriages will increase and bless our nation. I believe that. I believe black women, white men coming together is a blessing. I believe black women, white men coming together will benefit our nation, will benefit society, will increase our marriage rates. I do believe that. Okay. And when I look at the numbers and I see the quality that black women have, I mean, I can't see that not being true. Seriously. Okay. But if you look at it overall, black women, they are the most loyal. Okay. Unfortunately, in their community, the men aren't wifing them up like they should. Okay. I don't know why that is. I don't know. I believe it's a cultural thing. I believe people have accepted having relationships out of marriage, and it's becoming a norm, which, in my opinion, is very dangerous. It When you don't have a stable family environment for your children, they tend to have more problems in life. Okay. Uh, but, within our group, we're seeing success. We're seeing a bright light. We're seeing something happen here. Okay. Why do black women, white men have um, successful relationships? Okay. I think a lot of black women are traditional. A lot of black women want that family life. They want a husband that's going to be loving and loyal and put them first, which we should as men. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to put up this. Okay, slide. You've seen this one before. Okay, black women should consider opening up their options. Okay, just like white men should, black women should too. Okay, I believe black women are better off opening up their option. I know some people hate when I say that, but look at the numbers. Look at what's going on. Okay, and black women open up their options, I think will change things dramatically. It will make us better as men when we have to compete. Okay. Number 1, black women outnumber black men by over 2 million. Okay. So, black women, the numbers are not in your favor, even before you start dating. Okay. You're at a deficit. Okay. Number 2, 30% of black men are married. Okay. 70% of black men aren't marrying anybody. Okay. So, they're not marrying you, black women. Okay. So, if you want to be married, I guess you better be on your A game and prove you're the best woman. Otherwise, open up your option. Okay. Only 30% of black men are married. And that 30%, there's interracial marriages, white women, Hispanic, Asian. You know what I'm getting at? Numbers are drifting away from black women. Okay. Uh, 27% of black women are married. Statistically, I think it's even, I seen a stat where it says 25%. Okay, so that's nearly 75% of black women are not married. Is that because black women don't want to get married? Or is it because the men in the community won't marry the black women? So maybe if you want to be married, you got to open up your options. I'm just speaking logically. Okay. Number three, black adults have the highest divorce rate and lowest marriage rate. Okay. So let that sink in. There again, the numbers are stacked against you, black women. If you're race loyal, they're really stacked against you. Okay. According now here, number four, according to the Census Bureau data, black wife, white husband. Okay. Marriages have the lowest divorce rate. Okay. They've done studies on this. So maybe you should consider opening up your options. Okay. I'm just saying, I don't tell anybody what to do. It's your life, it's your choice. Okay. Some people are only attracted to one group of men or women, right? And I understand that. Okay. You know, when black women say they're only attracted to black men, I totally get it. Okay. Because for me, black women, it's black women or nothing. Always has been, always will be. Okay, so I get it. You're attracted to who you're attracted to. Okay. Now, it just so happens that I'm attracted to the best option. So it worked out for me. Okay. Um, but it's nobody's fault who you're attracted to. Okay. All right. Now this slide might be a little triggering. Trigger warning, trigger warning. Okay. I'm speaking my opinion, okay, based on my experiences and what I see. Okay. You could tell me if I'm wrong or not. But this is what I believe. This is what I see. Okay. All right. And this slide is titled Three Types of Black Women, Three Keishas. Okay. Slang for black women. All right. Three types of black women. Okay. Now look at the pink before we go to the yellow. Okay. Number one, BM worshiper, black male worshiper. Okay. These are women that just totally in for black men no matter what. They can do nothing wrong. It's kind of a form of it, not only a preference, but kind of worship. Okay. They think he's a king, a god. Some will even say that. It's kind of weird to call people gods, but that's the black male worshiper. And she's pro-black. Okay. Now over here you got the traditional spiritual black woman. Okay, the woman of faith, the black woman that's traditional. She don't need to have to necessarily be a woman of faith, but she's traditional. She believes in the nuclear family, a husband, a wife, and children. She's um, very traditional, yeah, and believes and has a strong belief in that. Okay. And then over here, you got the professional black woman. Okay. Now, the professional black woman is the black woman you'll see in the corporate world. She might be working uh, in a corporation, some kind of management position. She's a professional black woman. She could also be, a business owner. The professional black woman. She's usually highly educated, very professional, very organized how she carries herself. Um, and what you see in her is very beautiful and elegant. The professional black woman. Now, the traditional black woman, she's got professional qualities too, but she's more, a woman of faith or traditional. Now, can a black woman be traditional and professional? Yes, that happens all the time. Okay. These are the three types. You got the pro black woman, you got the traditional and spiritual black woman, you got the professional black woman. Now, all three of these can be pro black. Okay. They can. All three can be swirlers. Okay. If you look at the top where it says in the yellow, pro black, swirler, divester. Okay, we know what those three are, right? Now, can a pro black woman swirl? Yes. She could be pro black. She could even be a black male worshiper in love with a white man. I know that sounds weird, but it does happen. Okay. So she can be pro black and a swirler. Can she be a pro black and a divester? No. Uh, you're either one or the other. You can't be pro black and a swirler. You just don't are pro black and a divester. No. But you can be pro black and a swirler. Okay. And a divester can be a swirler too. Um, a lot of times divested women will end up with non-black men. Okay. But divestment isn't a woman that dates white men. I know there's a misconception of that. Divester is a woman that's pretty much leaving the community, the culture, getting to a safe space. And it's not necessarily to date out or none of that. Now, it can, a lot of times, does lead to that. Okay. But now a divester can be traditional and professional. Okay. But a divester is not going to be a black male worshiper. That just ain't going to happen. Okay. She's pretty much gone her own way. But a swirler can be pro black, divester. A swirler can go take their swirl to investment, or they can be a body count swirler. Okay. I'll talk about that later on. Okay. But these are the three types of black women, the three Keishas. Okay. BM worshiper, traditional and spiritual, and professional. Okay. Pro black, she can be pro black, swirler, divester. Okay. Pro black and swirler can go together. Okay. Divestment and pro black does not. Okay. And I hear this thing on YouTube, like people saying black women can't be pro black and date out. Well, black men do it all the time. If you look at history, Martin Luther King, had affairs with black women. You look at the Black Panthers, okay, they're pro black, and they were having sexual relationships in dorms with white women while black women were guarding the door. But they're pro black. So black women can do that too. Okay. All right. Now the swirler. We know what swirling is, right? Swirling can be good and it can be bad, depending on how you swirl. Okay. Swirling is just interracial dating. Okay. Some people do it because they think it's exciting. They want to see what the other person's like because they've never been with another person. It can be sexual. It can be just that a person has a preference for another group, so they swirl. It's just dating. Okay. Just like when you date within your race, it could go good or bad depending on how you do it. Are you looking for a wife, or looking for a relationship, a wife, or are you looking for a hookup? Okay. All right. Oh, and one I left out was investor. Okay. Black women can be an investor. They take their swirl to investment. Black women investing in a white man, swirl to investment. She's investing her time, her beauty, her love. Okay, that is an investment. Okay, where the man he invests his love too, and but he provides resources. He's a protector and provider. All right. So those are the three Keishas. I should probably put four because an investor. Okay. She's investing in a non-black man. She'd be an investor. Taking her swirl to investment. Okay. All right. Now, this slide is the black male worshiping swirler. Okay. Now, I said that, right? Can there be a black woman that's a black male worshiper but a swirler in love with a white man? Yes. I know that sounds crazy, but it happens. Okay. All right. And I need to make a slide for the other two, but this one, the black male worshiping swirler. Okay. Number one, desires and loves white men, or it could be any type of non black men, but loyal to black men's image. Pro black, very woke. Okay. White men, if you're going to date out, you're going to date black women, be careful of the pro black, very woke black woman. Okay. She may love you. She might even marry you and have children with you, but it can be disastrous. Okay. And if she's pro black and very woke, you'll be kind of secondary, if you get what I'm saying. Okay. Those relationships don't usually work out too well. Okay. Number two, feels very guilty for loving white men. There are so many black women out there that love white men, but they feel guilty. They feel like they're a traitor. Okay. And tries to turn her love and affection to black men. Some black women struggle and try to stay with black men, but are attracted to white men. Okay, just like there's white men that do that too, that are attracted to black women, very much so. But because of pressure in the community, society, they force themselves to be with a white woman, but really want to be with a black woman. Well, black women go through that too. Okay. Number three, tries to turn her white man into a tirade, a white man that acts black. Okay. She wants the black man in white skin, you might say. Okay, that happens a lot, and that can be very trying. That will be hard on the relationship because you can't be yourself. You got to act woke and like pro black, and yeah, it's like she wants the white man, but a, a black man in a white man's body. Okay. Number four, believes she has to be pro black and only have relationship with black men because she has a black son, father, brother, uncle. You know what I'm saying, right? A lot of black women get hung up on this because they have a black father, a black son, a black brother. They think they got to be pro black. No, you don't. Okay, love your father, brother, uh, but it's okay to fall in love with a non-black man. Okay, you don't have to be race loyal. Okay, number five, believes the black man is king, even if her heart is with the white man. White men, you don't want this. Okay, you do not want to hook up with a black male worshiping swirler. Mm-mm. Your life is going to be it's going to be a headache. There's going to be a lot of confusion. She may love you with all her heart, but she's going to be uh, confused, and it's going to be a back and forth thing. Okay, you want a black woman that's into you all the way, that sees you as the ultimate man, and you need to see her as the ultimate woman, right? When you come together, you put each other first. Nothing else matters. Okay. All right. Take these down. Now I'm going to talk about some things. Okay. All right. Now you're seeing a lot of chatter on YouTube, right? A lot of chatter in social media, a lot of chatter in, at work or in the neighborhood. And a lot of it's directed at black women. A lot of it's disgusting. A lot of it's a bunch of BS. Okay. And when you, for some reason, society tries to put a negative image on black women. Okay. Now, there's sometimes they'll put a positive one, which they need to do that more often. Okay. A lot of times you'll see in movies, you'll see people's perception of the black woman being loud, being very emotional, unstable, and they'll project the black woman is having issues. Okay. They'll show in the movies about black women being loud, angry, and over sexualized. Okay. But when you look at reality, you look at real life, you'll see most black women do not fit that stereotype or that generalization. Okay. But for some reason, they pull that negative stereotype on black women. Okay. And then you see that I hear this on social media all the time. Black women, you need to do better. You'll hear black men saying that. You'll hear some black women saying that too. Now here's the thing. If we look at the numbers, we look at the stats, black women, you're doing better than any group of women, period, in the story. You're the most educated, you're the most loving, most loyal. Okay? It's not your fault that the men in your community aren't marrying you up. Now you get the blame for it. I see it all the time. And then we hear this thing, well, black women, you need to be more understanding. You need to be, dang, what's that word? You need to be more submissive. You hear that all the time, right? Let me tell you about something about being submissive. Black women, no, you don't need to be submissive. Okay? That's a bunch of BS. The only man you should submit to is your husband, not your boyfriend, not the guy you're dating, not your fiance, but your husband. Okay? Now, if a man don't love you enough to marry you, he does not deserve your submission. If he won't provide and protect for you, he don't deserve your submission. Okay? If he ain't willing to lay down his life to protect you, he does not deserve your submission. Okay? There's a problem going on here. And there's a lot of single mothers out there because they listen to these jokers tell them they need to be more submissive. They need to be more submissive to the man's need. End up getting pregnant, he bounces, bam. Submission comes in marriage. Right? You don't owe no men your submission, ladies. Okay? The only time submission should come up is when you're married. And if that man, it's a two-part deal. Okay? You get a woman's submission. This is what you owe her to provide and protect her, to sacrifice for her, to put her needs above your own and lay down your life for her if it comes to that. If you cannot do that, you do not deserve submission. You don't deserve a wife. You need to kick rocks, hit the wall, and stay alone. The problem is that women are giving these men submission and they're not doing what they're supposed to as men. Basically, guys, to get that submission, you give everything. That means all your love. Give your protection. You uplift her. You make her feel beautiful, secure. And you know what? You do without, so she will have. Once you do all that, you provide, you protect, You marry her, you're willing to lay down your life for her, then that's where that submission takes place. Ladies, don't fall for that crap. Don't fall for a dusty dumpling that tells you you need to submit. No. I'm just saying, ladies. And here's another thing. You guys ever hear this complaint? I hear black men say all the time, well, black women act more feminine around white men than they do with black men. Well, you know what? I'm going to say something. And it might piss people off, but it's the honest to God truth. White men generally look at black women different. Okay? We as white men that love black women, we don't look at it like we have instant access. We don't think we deserve access to the black woman. If she gives us access, it's her choice and it's a blessing. And we look at it as a blessing. And we're thankful to have that. And we're a lot less aggressive when it comes to that. So, and you know what? Women pick up on men's energy. Now, maybe I'm wrong, but I've heard black women tell me they feel more safe, secure around white men, even ones that don't date white men. They feel like they're not going to push up on them because they do something nice. I hear these jokers online. I listen. I observe. And they say, well, lady, if a man's going to do this for you, you got to do this for him. And, you know, it's this for that, right? If you really love the woman, it's not going to be that way. It's not going to be this for that. You're going to do it for her because you love her. And that submission thing, it comes natural. You can't force love. You can't force women to be submissive. It's got to come natural. And so many times, and I think it's that a lot of these dusty dumplings try to push up on these women and try to force submission and try to force them to do what they want them to do. And they're more worried about what they get out of a black woman than what they put into a black woman. I tell you what, I'm a humble person, okay? I don't think I'm better than nobody, by no means. But I will tell you this. When I was dating in my younger days, I had a confidence. I knew in my heart that if I touched a black woman's heart, I would be in paradise. And I was confident I would be successful. Not because of what women think about me, but what's in my heart, what I'm willing to give, how far I'm willing to go. And the love I have for black women has been in my heart ever since I was a child, and it's grown through the years. And when I say it's black women or nothing, I freaking mean it. And I poured my heart and soul into that. And when you're in love, you don't expect anything back. You're just worried about what you can do for that person. But when you come with a true heart and when you come with true love, you're going to get true love. And the problem is that men don't see that. Today's man is weak. He's beta. He's just, and I'm speaking across the board. They don't want to commit to marriage. They want to have, they want to have the benefits of marriage without being married. They want to have sexual relationships with a woman without marrying her. They want the woman to pour her heart into him without even doing it for her. And when I look around and I see women that say they don't want to get married, something's wrong. But I don't blame them for that, because the way of thinking is we try to blend the old days with the new days, because our grandparents, our grandfather worked, our grandmother stayed at home, cooked and cleaned and took care of the kids, right? But then we want a woman to go 50-50 and then cook and clean and take care of the kids, because that's her job, right? I'm just saying, ladies, I'm sorry. The the selection of men you have is limited. And with that being said, your best bet is to open up your options, to weed through all this garbage out there that's telling you, be more submissive. You need to do more. You need to do this. And other women are more submissive than you. No, don't listen to that garbage. A lot of submissive women out there that are single mothers right now. You're telling me a man that loves a woman can't wait for the physical part? Can't wait? Yeah. Look, I tell you, the other day, I was tired. I had stayed up late. Me and my wife did. We had a lot going on, and we were very tired. Um, and the next day we had a day off together. Okay. And when we went to bed, we slept. We woke up in the morning, and we just looked at each other and said, "You know what? Let's get another nap." We spent most of the day in bed sleeping. And I looked at my wife. As I was sleeping, I was hugging her and I was thanking God for her. And at that moment in time, it didn't matter what was going on in the world. It I didn't care about nothing or nothing or anything except my wife. And in fact, I didn't want to leave the bedroom. My wife's like, "Yeah, let's just why leave?" And maybe we're just tired and we're just enjoying each other. But we have a love that's amazing. And it didn't come by me telling her, "Hey, you need to submit. You need to do this." It didn't come with demands. It didn't come with requirements. It didn't come with, "What do you bring to the table?" All it came with, "I love you. Will you marry me? Come to the table. I'll build the table and I'll buy you a house to put it in." How many men have that mentality these days? Taking care of children can be overwhelming, very hard. It is. But we have some lazy men that say, "Well, I worked all day." Yeah, your wife did too, but you can't help. Okay. No wonder women don't want to get married. They want to be a wife. They want to be loved and respected. They don't want to be an indentured servant. I tell you, when you give love and you come with a pure heart, you're going to get love. You can't force it. You can't force women into submission. And listen to me, white men, there are beautiful black women that are willing to open up their options, that will give you everything if you love them and do right as a man. But I tell you, submission comes with sacrifice. Submission comes with hard work. Submission comes with one day you might have to give your life for her. Can you do it? If not, you don't deserve submission. And that's biblical. The Bible says that. We forget that part, don't we? Well, people say, well, and the Bible says women should submit to their husbands. So I guess that means your girlfriend too, right? But they don't get the part where it says, wives, submit to your husbands, and husbands, love your wife like Christ loved the church and gave his life for it. It's saying that our wives should submit to us, but we need to love our wives like Christ loved the church and gave his life for it. Meaning, if it comes to it, you lay down your life for your wife. We don't want to talk about that part, do we? We want that submission, right? Don't want to get married for the submission, right? Just want it. Just want it given to us. What a pathetic world we live in. Anyway, okay, let me get off that subject because I'll be yelling all night about this because it's just so wrong. It seems like the scripture tells us to provide and protect for our wives. Okay? And it tells us that our wives are a treasure. Okay? It tells us that the virtuous woman is worth rubies and precious stones. Okay? It tells how valuable a woman is. But yet we try to spin it around to where we could be the beautiful one while she goes to work, right? See so much of that crap. And then we wonder why our marriages don't work, why things are all out of whack. Well, you're not loving the right way. And there's people out there, oh, well, you're wrong, Ronan. You're full of ish. You don't know what you're talking about. Oh, yeah? I've only been married once. I have children by one woman. I've been married over 30 years. I think I know what I'm talking about. Now, am I perfect? Heck no. Okay? Now, I could have done everything right and married the wrong woman and been in a failed marriage. But by the grace of God, I got the right wife. Did I deserve it? No. But you know what? I had a love for black women, and I looked at black women as a treasure. I looked at black women as the prize. When the black woman touched my heart, I was done. See, what's going on right now, it's not black women's fault. It's the men's fault. From what I see, black women are doing more than they're supposed to do. They're always trying to be better, always trying to be submissive, trying to listen to these jokers. But yet these men ain't doing any better. And if they don't, open up your options and go elsewhere. I'm just serious, ladies. It's just sad that black women are at the top but settling for the bottom. Maybe you should consider opening up your options. And if you do not fall for them Dusty Donuts either. Okay, you got to vet every man, everything. Okay, I'm going to show you a couple TikToks and then I'll drop the link. Okay, now the propaganda will tell you that the white man's the bad guy. He's evil. He's racist. He's this and that, right? I'm going to show you this video, and this woman explains in the corporate world what she was told in her experience. Okay, let me go ahead and add this.
A shock to you because it was to me, but as a black woman, my biggest ally in the corporate space has been white men. I know. I've been told my whole life that my biggest enemy as a black woman, as a young black woman, are white men, specifically older white men. But in my experience working with both white women and white men bosses, I found myself, my personal experience, to be safer professionally and personally at work with white men. And it was definitely a bitter pill to swallow. My first few jobs were women bosses, and I wanted to look up to them. I mean, I still look up to them, their professional success, their successes as women, but I just felt like entering those spaces, I was guilty until proven innocent. I felt like I was hired to do a job, and then I was entrusted to do that job. I felt like there wasn't really a lot of direct feedback.
Let me stop right there. She says she felt more safer with white men professionally and physically than with women bosses, white women. Well, I think I know why. I think a lot of times white women, for some reason, compete with black women. Maybe it's a jealousy thing. I think in general, men, I think women do better around men anyway. And I believe mostly with white men. I just, and I think black women do really well around white men bosses because a lot of times we're not that monster. We actually respect black women. And a lot of times white men will be on their best behavior to prove that, hey, I got your back and you do a good job. I got you, and just prove I'm, not that big racist monster out there, that I really care for you. I think that's what happens a lot of times. But let's continue.
I felt like I was always messing up secret rules that I wasn't aware of, but they were very clear to them. And I just felt like, just in general, like I was always messing up. And then I would start messing up because you're in this sort of like psychologically difficult place. Now I work with a two white men supervisor. One of them is an older white man. And I'm giving so much freedom and space to do my work that at first I was a little bit nervous. But now I'm realizing how much good work you can do when you are trusted at work, when you're not being psychologically attacked by things not relevant to work and sifting through that in order to do your job. And just in general, feeling much more championed and safe as a woman of color. And granted, it could also just be like I lucked out with this organization, like I get that. But I've also heard stories of my friends who are women of color just having difficult experiences working with other women, specifically white women, where they just feel like it's not professionally or psychologically safe for them to work there. And so when I first started working with white men bosses, I was like, this is definitely gonna be a change, but I was definitely nervous because some stories I've heard in the past of egotistical bosses and all that stuff, I definitely didn't get that. And before this job, I also worked with another white man boss, and he just also made it very psychologically safe to work there. He was very empathetic and vulnerable. And I just was shocked because that's not what I was told, at least. And so if you're a black woman, a woman of color in the professional space, and you want to enter a team, but you're nervous because it's a white man boss and you don't know how that's going to work, you may be surprised.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah, Corey, Karen bosses are special. Those are the worst. But yeah, well,
women, I think it's a competition thing, and I think you get a Karen in there, she's going to compete with the black woman, even, and if she's your boss, that can be difficult. Yeah, but white men really, I a lot of times white men will treat. I guess there's no competition with the women, and and with black women, a lot of times white men will be like they want to prove they're a good guy, and you do good, you're going to be okay. I got you, and just want to be a good supervisor. Um, but with the propaganda and the rhetoric, all white men are racist, so black women will go into a business thinking, oh my God, it's a white guy. He's going to be a hater and crazy and have a big ego, and a lot of times that ain't the case. Yeah, black men and white women compete with black. Yeah, a lot of times they do. Okay, but I'm glad to hear this because it shows that the propaganda and all that rhetoric ain't true. You know. All right, got three more.
Women are the least likely group of women to marry, especially outside of their own race. That's right. According to sociologist Cheryl Judice, one solution might be for black women to start considering dating outside of their race, which obviously for us is pretty common here. But I think she's not specifically speaking.
It's true.
I heard that.
Yeah. We all are in relationships.
We all are in relationships that are interracial. That is so.
Yep, they're all in interracial relationships. Let me show you something. Look at this. Pay attention to this. If you're a white man or a non-black man that thinks black women don't like you, these are celebrities. These women can have any man they want, but they chose to date outside the race. There's black women celebrities that are married to white men. So if celebrities can have any man they want, the everyday black woman out there's one for the everyday white guy. Okay, I'm just saying. Look, I was able to open up my options back in '85, and it wasn't hard. It really wasn't. Once you get your courage up and you can approach a woman, it it, it comes together. Now you'll have rejection along the way, sure, but as long as you have the courage to approach, it's going to work out. Because believe it or not, there are black women that want to be with white men, just like there's white men that want to be with black women. Don't get caught up in, well, they're the most race loyal. I don't have a chance. No, don't believe that crap. You go for it. You'll be amazed. Just saying.
So crazy.
Okay, so she says that black women typically don't do this because of historical.
That's scary. Not scary. Let me try and okay, I'm gonna first speak on the first initial vibration that I get, then I'll speak on a high
What the
vibration.
hell?
But from this initial vibration that I'm getting, it's like, okay, so they're, successful women. They're on their TV show, whatever, da. And isn't it crazy though that every single one of them is dating outside of their race? Yeah? Like to the
Obviously.
to the black women as well, it's like so they got like do you get what I mean? So it's like initially do you have the initial thing of so you got there because of the fact that you was dating outside of your race? Do you get what I mean? Or is it just simply what is it?
Okay, I'm sorry. There's somebody doing a reaction on this, but let's go ahead. Sorry.
Because it shouldn't have to be a thing where it's like, oh, a solution to black women not getting married is to date outside their race, and yet black women are the least likely to want to date outside their race. There's clearly a reason why we don't want to date outside our race. I think to want to replicate yourself is beautiful. If you're black, it makes sense to. That's our natural urge. We have, and even self love. If you
Okay, let me stop right there. What the woman's saying is that black women that are opening up their options because they can't get married, that there's nothing wrong with wanting to replicate yourself and be race loyal. And someone stop it right here. Um, It's just like this young lady's against the interracial thing that we got to recreate ourselves or we're going to die out type of garbage. Um, yeah, I accidentally got the wrong video. I wanted to show the whole video, but these were celebrity women that have opened up their options and have chose to do so. They decided to go outside the race, and that's a beautiful thing. But there's some people that disagree with that. That we got to recreate ourselves. We got to make kids that look like our grandparents because I don't believe in that. We're all people, and if we don't worship a skin tone, why would we care what color our kids come out to be? As long as we find someone we love and we can build a family with, that's what's important. You know, I mean, I mean, how can you fall in love with just somebody that looks like you? That I could never do it. I'm sorry. My heart belongs to the black woman, and I'm a white man. And what can I say? So I want to be happy, and my children are amazing. You know, they're biracial. Well, that's because I love black women, and my wife's black. Okay. Anyway, okay. All right. Let's show this.
Women, this is your friendly
Okay, she's going to
black
give
woman.
advice. She's going to give advice to you. Okay, listen to her closely.
Black women, this is your friendly reminder. Go date that white man. I know it could be challenging and a bit daunting dating outside your race because it's something that you never thought you'd do. But hey, we want new results, don't we? Just give it a try.
Give it a try, black women. Go date that white man. No, it could be tough. Just do it. You want a different result, right? But make sure you vet. Don't just go to the first white guy because it could be a dusty dumpling. You don't know. Dusty dumplings come in all colors. But statistically, uh, your odds are a lot better with the white man. I'm just saying. And don't shoot the messenger. Don't hate. Okay. All right. But good advice, young lady. Okay, the next video I'm going to show is this beautiful woman that talks about opening up her options and how she opened up her options to this white man and it worked out and is beautiful. And this is my favorite video. Oh my God. I love this woman. She's amazing. I can't get enough, but I got to show you. Okay.
Hello, everybody. This is Sandra. I'm with Roadrunner 89. As you know, my husband Brent talks about interracial marriages. So I'm here making like a short video about exploring your options. Um, so us as Black women has always been told to be race loyal. And when we have been told that, it was hard to go ahead and explore our options. Well, I'm here to tell you that explore your options. Um, you deserve to be happy. You deserve to be happy, whoever that makes you happy and to be with. When I met Brent, and you probably guys have heard the story of how we met. When I met Brent, I was really skeptical. So, but I was scared and nervous and feel emotional at the same time because I have never really got or dated a white man. Even thought about stepping out because I was always told to be, loyal. You always had that chatter in your ear. But when I met Brent, we went on dates, we talked, we got to know each other. The emotions were always high and exciting. Um, you know, he showed me love, he showed me kindness, and he showed me so much respect that I never hardly ever got from any of my boyfriends that I had at the time. And with him, it was a breath of fresh air because when he showed me all that, I felt like, wow, there is somebody out there for me that just respects me and loves me for like who I am, no matter what. And knowing my husband, I'm telling you right now, does not see no color whatsoever. He loves everybody. He respects everybody. And when my family had met him, like I always said, my mom, you know, it was. She told me, she's like, I like him. And when I met Brent, and I did a lot of praying, and every time I prayed to see, just to set me on this path here, it always led me back to him. And I felt the reason why it led me back to him is because God knew I was looking for, and he knew his heart. And so that's how we've been married for 28 years. He's a blessing. And my mom always said, you know, don't miss out on your blessings when they're seeing you or coming right back to you. So I always take that to heart, and I would like to go ahead and share that with you. So don't miss out on your blessing, ladies. Go out there and explore your options. It's you don't know you don't know until you get out there and see what it has, see what the other side has to offer. Uh, with Brent, my husband sacrificed. He was in the service, and when he was in the service, he was gone on a lot of deployments. At that time, it was my job to go ahead and hold down the household. I always prayed for him to always, make it back. At that time, we didn't have cell phones or do emails and everything. So when he was deployed, uh, it was hard for us to go ahead and keep that communication going. But I always prayed that God bring him back to me. As my husband was out there in the service, he saw a lot of things, a lot of death. And when we would get special, which what I mean is that we would our unit would get together and have special phone privileges. So we would get together, they would set up phone, a camera, and then that way we could go ahead and talk to the soldiers and see how they were doing and pretty much keep them uplifted because they're away from home. So any chance that we got, any chance that they call me, trust me, I was signing my name up to go ahead and talk to him so we could make sure that he was okay. And that time was 20 minutes, but that 20 minutes felt great because we got to see him. He looked good. He was okay. And when we went home, we slept a little bit better. And any extra time that they give us, we took it because the more time we spent talking to him and him seeing the kids was a truly blessing. And I thank God for my husband. He came back, he came home, and he's been a blessing ever since. And so with us being married for 28 years and seeing his sacrifices and us being together, give yourself that chance because you just don't know what is out there for you. So everybody I know, people talk to you, let you know. They may have, guide you and say, you don't want that. People are going to talk about you and everything. Don't listen to that. What are your options? You deserve that. Because you never know who God's going to put in front of you. And when God put my husband Brent in front of me, let me tell you, I have been the most happiest wife ever since. His grandchild loves him to death. His kids love him to death. And I just love him so much. My prayers go up every morning. My prayers go up every night for my husband to thank him for everything that he has done. And putting a roof over our head, putting food in our stomach. And also, not only that, but being a friend and a great companion. when my days are rough, and I'm telling you, I had a rough day at work here today. Um, he, I couldn't get off the phone, and I work from home, and he brought me food, and he brought me something to drink, and he's rubbing my back because I am so stressed out. And but he, I love him to death. And ladies, open up your options because you just never know who that special person is. And so my advice to you is to anybody that wants to talk to you and get to know you, go ahead, try it. See what that person's all about. Doesn't mean you have to go ahead and step into it. Just open. Yeah, you have your red flags, and yeah, you have your tutorial area. That's fine. That's all good. But give it a chance. Talk, ask questions, see what that other person's like. So, like my mom always said, and I'll just leave you with this: don't miss out on your blessings. All right. Well, I hope this helps out a little bit. And, if you have any questions, let my husband know, and I might just sneak back on one of his videos and then discuss more. But yes, ladies, please weigh out your options. All right. Well, you guys have a good night. It was good talking to you, and thank you for watching my video. Bye-bye.
Awesome. Uh, yeah, Jacqueline, we'll pray for you. Yes, of course. You got it, young lady. Um, I love that video. Um, my wife don't come on much, but when she does, it's really a blessing. And when she made that video, it was amazing. And that's my favorite video, hands down. And I love my wife. And our time in the army, I spent 20 years in the army. Okay, and my wife was married to me. We got married right before I went in the army, so she did the full 20 with me. And towards the end, when things broke out in Iraq from 2003 to now until I retired, I mean, I did 3 deployments to Iraq, and one was like 18 months, and there was that uncertainty there, and my wife held it together, awesome, and being an army wife is not easy. You got a wife that holds it together while you're, you know, out there serving your country. It's a blessing. And she definitely had the harder job than I did. And I'm grateful for it. And I've been blessed. But to get that beautiful blessing, I had to come right. I had to come with a pure heart and true love. Because my wife, she was skeptical. She didn't know what to think, you know. And she said yes when I asked to marry her. And thank God she did. Um, I don't know where my life would be without my wife. I mean, wow. And I tell you, black women are amazing. And if you're out there considering open up your options, you just don't know how beautiful and amazing black women are. You don't. But when you find out, she touches your heart, you'll know. And you'll be thanking God every day for it. But anyway, I love that video. I had to show you guys that video. Um, yeah. But we're going to have a ladies' night here in the near future, and I'm going to bring my wife up, and we'll have a fun night, and we'll talk about, I don't know, swirling to investment, or we'll talk about something though. But we'll talk about maybe how we got through our relationship through the ups and downs. Um, our love has always been up, but when I say ups and downs, sometimes with finances up and down, um, me getting deployed and being gone for, you know, long amounts of time, and my wife having to take care of the kids and explain to them why dad can't be there and why he's got to be over here, and it's tough. The military life is tough, especially on the family. And I tell you, I got a amazing blessing. My wife is, oh my God, I could never got a blessing that good. My prayers were answered when I met my wife. Yeah. Yeah, we'll do a ladies' night. We sure will. And when we do it, I'll have some giveaways too. We'll make it exciting, and we'll have a good time. Okay. I don't know when exactly it's going to be. I'm waiting until I hit a million views. I want to celebrate that and do some giveaways. And I'll probably show my first videos, and and we'll have a good time. Yeah. But anyway, um, my thing tonight is I want to speak to white men, non-black men, and to consider opening up your options to black women, and to see how beautiful and amazing black women are. Look, I opened up my options back in '85 when I was 16, okay? And I never looked back. I never wanted to be with any other woman except a black woman. And it wasn't, a sexual fantasy thing or nothing like that. It just, I had true love for black women. They just were amazing, and black women have this special aura about them. They have, a sweet spirit about them. And you get to know black women, and they're amazing. You talk to a black woman that's 20 to 80 years old, and it's like there's something special about black women, and I can't. I mean, I understand some things why black women are amazing, but the black women that have been in my life, I'm just like, wow, these women are truly amazing women, you know. And it's not by accident I chose my wife Sandy. You know, I wanted the best, and I went for the best. I opened up my options, you know, and get to know the black woman. Open up your options, you know. Um, hey Corey, I seen you down there. Hit the link again. You dropped off. Let me put the link back up there. Links up here if you guys want to want to come up and say a few words. Um, oh, there he is. Hey Corey, what's going on? How you doing, brother?
How you doing?
I'm doing good. I just want to make this video tonight, and I want to talk to white men, non-black men, to open up their options and get to know black women. You know, and I want good white men. I don't want no creepy weirdos to try to hook up. I want good men that have a big heart, that want a good wife and want to be a good man. Hey, Jess, welcome.
Hey, how
How
are
you
you?
doing? Good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Happy Saturday.
Yeah. Happy Saturday.
I just wanted to say that I'm a strong supporter of the channel, and I appreciate what you guys do or what you do. And that's really what I wanted to say.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. I did have a question for you though.
Okay.
Would you say that most men today prefer a more promiscuous woman?
No, I didn't say that.
Oh, no, no, I'm just asking. No, I know you didn't say that. Yeah, you didn't say that. I'm just asking if,
Do they
like,
want a more promiscuous? Well, I I don't really know, and the reason is because I'm traditional, you know, and the woman that I wanted a wife. Okay, I've been raised to, you grow up, you move out, you get married. I would say, well, the way men are today with loose morals, yeah, they probably do want a promiscuous woman. They want someone that's easy, someone that they can have sexual relations right away. Um, you know, uh, I would say most men are like that, but most men aren't good men. They're
mm,
looking at the physical part. They're looking more in lust than love. A good man will just be happy to be with the woman he's with, and he'll desire a woman. I mean, it's natural for men to desire women and vice versa, but there's a time and place for everything, right? And a good man knows this, and he's in love
mm,
with the woman he's with enough he can wait. You know what I'm saying? And I was like that. I look when I met my wife, I did desire, sure. I mean, but I knew it wouldn't be right to do that or to try to push for that, and I didn't. And that comes later on. You fall in love, you get married, and and the physical, you're in love. The physical's even better, and it's right. You know, but yeah, I would say
yeah.
today's man, loose morals. Yeah, they want a promiscuous. Uh, but with that, a lot of times they don't get love. It's lust, and and I think that's why the physical part needs to come after marriage, where you're in truly in love. Because if you jump in bed, you know, and it's just lust, then the guy's going to go to another woman and just go and feed that lust, and it's destructive. It's destructive to the women he's around. It's destructive to himself because he can't really feel true love, you know. But I would say, now that I think about it, I do know the answer to that. But a good man knows that is something that comes at the right time. Not, it's like in relationships, we try to put the carriage before the horse. A lot of people, they'll be physically attracted to each other, jump in bed and hope it works out. Well, that's the wrong way to go about it. A lot of times it don't work out. But to answer your question, yeah, I believe most men unfortunately want a promiscuous woman because they want to be
Wow.
promiscuous. You know, I wish that was not
It's,
the answer because us as men don't need to be like that.
so are you saying that women who like good girls don't have a chance at marriage?
That men that what?
Are you saying that like women who are um, more like good girls, they are less inclined to get married?
No, I'm not saying that at all. I
Well, if you're
think
saying most men, oh, I'm sorry. Go
I'm
ahead.
saying that. No, no, no. What I'm saying when I say, well, most marriages don't last. Most men don't do it the right way. Okay. Um, I wish it was the other way around. I wish most men were great men, and the terrible men were very few and far between. Um, but not to say there aren't a lot of good men. I'm just saying, well, look at our society. I mean, look at how many people having children out of wedlock. Look how our society's accepting that. Um, not to say a man can't get right and do right later on, but I'm just saying most, I would say most probably want a promiscuous woman. I hate to say that, but good women that vet, I would say good women have a better chance of getting married because they're going to seek out a good man. Um, Women that have loose morals probably ain't going to find a good man. I'm just saying. I mean, good people got to find good people, and you know, I know society, our morals have loosened, and we accept things we shouldn't, but there are good people, and you got to be with good people. You want marriage and a family, you got to seek that out. Um, and you got to vet. I had to seek that out, and I had to learn the hard way that you got to do it the right way, and you got to be, us men too. We got to seek out good women because we get the wrong woman, we're in trouble. You know.
Yeah, I appreciate your honesty. I really respect that because a lot of men on YouTube, they say that men are actually looking for good women, innocent women, but I know, and based on what you're saying too, that's not the truth. Men are looking for promiscuous, highly sexual women. Those are the women that men want to settle down with. And yeah, so I appreciate you
Yeah.
being honest. I really respect that.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, but not to say there is good men out there. I mean, it just you got to find them. Good. Same thing with women. You got to find the good one. Um, and
I
that's what makes. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna ask. I did go on a. It's kind of random. It was a
Uh-huh.
white guy, Jewish, that I went out with just a few hours ago. It was a
Oh,
date. I'm 28. He's 46. He's never been married. He works in the entertainment industry as a filmmaker. He's pretty famous. Um, and I don't know. It's just interesting. Like he texted me after saying that he wants to do it again. He got me all these roses, but it's just a little suspicious. I'm like, how does a man get to age 46 and unmarried, working
okay.
like he's famous, like pretty well known, like he's respected, he's won a lot of awards. So it's just kind of suspicious. I'm just wondering your thoughts.
Wow.
Brett, can I chime in here?
Yeah, go ahead.
He's what you call a charming player.
What?
All of his moves are refined. He knows exactly what he's doing. It's a really
I,
charming, smooth love bomb, is what it's called. A man at
Well,
his age has done this repeatedly. Never been married.
well,
That
Corey,
hmm.
he drove almost, which is weird. He drove almost like an hour. So he lives in like Hollywood, and I'm located in Laguna Beach, which is like during like peak traffic time, that's almost 2 hours, an hour and a half. He drove all that far to see me for a first date, and I'm kind of like, like he must not have as many options. Like I don't know. It's kind of weird. Yeah.
Well,
well, I,
my grandma said if a man doesn't change by the time he's 50, he's not going to change. So maybe he wants to change now that he's getting close to 50.
yeah. Well, I would say be careful. Um,
Hmm.
um, well, I've been a traditional look. I got married at 24. Okay, and in my family, we're very traditional. So I was like a late bloomer at 24. Okay, so when I see people in their 40s not married, 50s, I'm like, what are you doing?
That's kind of a
Um,
red flag.
yeah, and you know, now a man will drive several hours to be with a woman that he's attracted to. I'm not saying he's a player. I don't know the man. I'm not going to say he's what he, because
Well,
I don't
he's an
know.
industry guy, though.
Yeah, that's kind of a red flag too. That
Hmm.
in the
That's why I
age,
say he's a he's perfected charm.
I don't know. Hollywood relationships, they don't. But I'm not saying he's not a good man. I can't say that. I just, to me, it's just off. Um, like I said, my goal in life was to get married. Now, I was always attracted to black women early on, so it just fell in place. But I'm traditional. I wanted to get married and have a family. I wasn't thinking about, oh, I can get with this girl and that girl and this woman, that woman. I wasn't in that mindset. I was thinking about a wife and a family. Um, Now industry is, yeah. I I just say be careful, young lady. I mean,
Yeah, it was just because I'm like, why would, he's, because I mean, Hollywood has so many attractive women, especially in that area. Like, then there's Beverly Hills that's right next to the, and then LA. So I'm like, I'm in Laguna Beach, which is like a little bit of a distance. So I'm like,
right.
wow, he drove this far to see me. He brought all these roses. And like, I'm like, maybe he doesn't have as many options as I thought. I don't know.
Well,
Or maybe
then,
he does.
then again, he might see you as not in the industry, and the women within the industry feels maybe has a chance with somebody that's not in the industry. It could be that too. I don't know. Or he just might be attracted to you, and I I I don't know. Yeah, I would just be cautious. It's the age difference and being in the industry, that's a red flag. I mean, but I mean,
Hmm.
I don't want to
I,
say he's this and that because I don't know.
I even looked him up online. He is like in a like his house is humongous. It's like a multi-million-dollar like mansion in Hollywood Hills. So I'm just like, whoa, like kind of like, that's a, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, maybe I need to give myself a little bit more credit, but just a little strange. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if he's in the industry and you know, y yes, he's interested in you. You know, um, but I don't even. Yeah, but I would just say just be careful. You know. Um,
Yeah. Should I go out on his? I mean, his last message to me, like, had a great time. Like, please, let's do it again, please. And I haven't replied to his message.
mm,
Yeah, I'm like thinking.
yeah.
Well, you have to think about your long term. If you're thinking just about tomorrow, it might be. It depends on what you're looking for. Because he's a tomorrow man. I don't know that he would be 10 years from now, man. It depends on
Mm.
what you want.
And even his car, like, because he drove me, um, because after the date, I needed to go back home, and like, I obviously didn't have him drive me to my home, but like my friend's place, and I was like, his car was. I thought I expected a better car. Like his car wasn't as nice as I expected, so that was a little shock, and it was dirty. So, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Hey, J10, I can answer your question. Yeah. Hey, J10. Yeah.
Shinri,
What's your?
Shanrika said men will travel across the world for sex. Girl, you know this.
Yeah, they will. Yeah, yeah, she's right.
Oh
That's
my
even in
Yeah.
the
God.
Bible. I mean, men travel great distances. It's very common.
Oh. Wow, that is so funny. Well, alrighty. Well, I just thank you for the advice. I appreciate it. Maybe he is just
Oh,
a
thank you. Well, I don't know. I don't like talking about somebody that's not here to defend themselves. And
Hmm.
I don't even know the guy, so I wouldn't be right to tell you he's this and that. I just, to me, there's some red flags there. I'll leave it at that, and I'll just say, be careful, young lady, please.
okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Thank you all. I'm gonna jump down and just get back in the chat. But thank you everybody. Thank you everybody.
Okay. Thank you, Jess. Thanks for coming up.
Thank
It's
you.
good talking to you.
Me too.
Thanks. Hey, J10, is that the question? If a guy says he can't have a relationship without sex, is he lying? Well, if he can't have a relationship without sex, you need to kick him to the curb because, I mean, come on.
If he can't have a relationship without sex, then he wants a sexual relationship.
Right.
So, you know,
I would ask him, well, what about getting married and then having sex? See what he says.
well, yeah, most men will propose if they want to marry you. They're going to propose in 90 days or less.
Right.
If
Right.
they if they're dragging their feet, it's going to take, well,
I would just say J10 say, well, I'm saving myself for marriage. That's what I would say. That's how I'd respond. Did that answer the question?
hmm.
Yeah. I'm
Hey,
sorry I missed
Brent,
it. Yeah,
Brent,
yes, sir.
I think Jane Doe's got something confused with what I said about his age.
Hmm.
It's it's
Oh,
not
okay.
it's not that he is unwed at that age. It has everything to do with the field of work he specializes in. Because men are intentional when they choose a career. They choose a career based on what they want out of life. It's the fact that he's been doing it for almost 5 decades. That's the red flag. I mean, you'd have thought that a successful man would have been able to find a long term wife long before 46 years old.
Hmm.
I'm just saying, from my perspective, I don't know
Yeah.
about his world, but if he's an industry
Well,
guy, he's an industry guy because there's a fresh, unlimited supply of young, attractive women flowing through his life all the
right.
time.
Yeah. I want to address it. Yes, dating as a virgin yeah, it is, but you know, you just don't want to make the mistake of having a sexual relationship and he's not really in love with you. I mean, men will lie to say if he loves you, he can do without sex. That's what I'm saying. I did without sex with my wife because I love her. Okay, the desire's there, yes, but if you love her, you can have a relationship without sex. I know it's difficult. Um, Men and women have done it. Okay, I know it's not in the norm, and I would just you just don't want to fall in that trap. And if he's not really into you and you go all the way, having sex don't equal love. Okay.
No, it's just about making babies. It's
Yeah, just fulfilling a lustful desire. I mean, you want to be in love before you go to that. Hmm. I I just don't want to see women make that mistake because there's so much value. Don't give yourself to a man that don't love you. That's all I'm saying. Um, I know it's difficult. It is.
well, the fact that if he knows that she has abstained and he's still pushing for a sexual relationship. He's just a predator.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
care how charming he is, he's a predator.
yeah. And I know it's hard, and you might think, well, I could do this and it'll work out, but then again, it might not work out. And I've seen so many women give in to men and then regret it because the love wasn't true. Now, some people jump in bed and they love each other and it works. But what I'm saying is, a lot of times there's so many men that are predators that want to just have a sexual relationship with a woman that they will lie and do whatever it takes that get that, and you can't undo it once it's I and hey Genesis,
Hi, how are you doing this evening?
how you doing? Sorry, I had to answer that question. I just don't like when men push up on women and try to force them into a sexual relationship. And say, well, if you love me, you'll do this. No, don't buy into that, ladies. If he loves you, he'll wait.
Hmm.
Right.
I waited. I mean, you can wait. Yeah. Hey, Genesis, good to see you, young lady. How are you doing?
It's nice to see you. How are you?
Good. I'm doing good.
I was just calling in. I wanted to say, you know, with the relationship between the black woman and the white man, or black woman and non-black man relationship, we've talked about this before.
Hmm.
That relationship it doesn't operate in a superficial way. A lot of the relationships under patriarchy, they operated under the isms: ageism, racism, classism, sexism, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
When you try to take the black woman white man relationship and apply ageism and classism, racism, it's just not going to work. Um, you know, the movement of the black woman white man relationship is still in the early onsets. So
Hmm.
people have they're starting now to catch on to the quote unquote benefit of it or whatever. So, like in California, there are a lot of the interracial relationship date, everybody pretty much does it. It's a lot more common there.
Hmm.
Um it's starting to become more common with black women and white men, because they're seeing, the benefit. They're starting to catch on to the benefit of it because of people like you and your wife and my husband and myself.
Hmm.
But when you start factoring in uh, the industry, the way people like that have been programmed to think, the way patriarchal men have been programmed to think, when you try to apply that to the black woman white man relationship, that's going to be a disaster, because if they're operating under patriarchy, then she's doomed. Any relationship that a black person has interracially that's operating under the patriarchy is a devastation to that black person. So under the patriarchy, the reason that the black woman white man relationship is so attacked, one of the reasons is because our relationship is not part of that system, so therefore it doesn't operate as being a part of um so those type of things. Do you want a man that's able to financially provide and all of that? Of course, sure. Should black women be want that for themselves? Yes. But it's just the way that we operate together. It's not gonna work if it's like a superficial situation, or if it's a situation that's not based off of character first, love
Hmm.
first. you know um I've worked in the industry. I have, ties to the entertainment industry or whatever, not because I wanted them, just because of the bloodline I came from, because they pick you, you don't pick them. So anytime I'm on any platform and I see people coming up on the platform and talking about industry people, this and that. You know, it's a red flag to me because I don't know if you coming on here because you know me or what. Because I have a lot of people watching me from the industry. Um, my husband, you know, he was best friends with the confidential assistant to George Huber Walker Bush Sr., our 41st president. So he has political ties. So, you know, when I see that me, I'm always thinking about like, well, who is this? um, so, you know, our relationship, you know, I just want to say the relationship before, you know, I can't stop people. You know, I trust you, Brent. I see you and your wife. There are people on your panel that are married, that have been married. Corey, I've learned to, you know, I see where you're coming from. You know, we've built more of a rapport, you know, based off of trust. It's right now the relationship pool between the black woman white man is not contaminated yet. You
Right.
know, once people start seeing that benefit, or that, you know, we're dominating, you know, the ones that didn't do the work, the ones that you're going to have those ones that are going to try to jump in.
Right.
You know, I've seen it myself. So after a while, I think right now it's a lot easier to vet as a black woman interracially dating. It's a lot easier to vet. It's the guy that you're with. It's a lot easier to figure out his character and everything. But once people, like I said, see the benefit of it, especially when I'm trying to. I don't want to talk about California. I don't want to talk about the industry, but you know, they teach a lot of superficial, systemic, um, like like ways to be. You know what I mean? They teach a lot of negative stuff, and as you know, as we've seen thus far, it hasn't worked. So
Right.
right now, you know, it hasn't been contaminated, or you know, there's not like a whole bunch of people jumping into the black woman white man relationship pool, you know. Like if you, let's say for instance, if you were a white woman and you dated black men and you were trying to find a black man who had good character or whatever, that pool is so incestuous, and there are so many people. Black men date out the race with everybody, so it's like it's so many people doing the non-black woman black man relationship. The chances of you as a non-black woman getting a quote unquote good black man probably is the same or even less than a black woman getting a quote unquote good black man. You see what I'm saying? Because maybe at one point in the beginning, when that relationship was suffering adversity and things like that, the non-black woman and the black man, they had to vet each other out. They held on to each other because of love and good character. But once people thought there was a benefit, then all these people come in. So it's the same thing with the black woman white man relationship. I think that this is probably the best time as a black woman. You better I would suggest, if you want to interracially date, don't hesitate and get in early
You
because
didn't
it'll be hard to figure out his character and things like that. And you're gonna find women who are not on the up and up, you know, black women, you know, or whatever type of entities saying that they're a black woman, trying to get in on the game because they see a benefit, and she'll be just as much of a problem as a Karen. So that I just wanted to say
Yeah. Well, the benefit I've seen is it just it seems that black women are just more real. They're it's like you get to know a black woman, you earn her trust. It's like she'll open up to you, and I just it just to me, in my experience, I just feel more love from black women than any other group of women. And I'm not talking just because of my preference, but I'm just saying, just in general, it just seems that black women are just more loving, more compassionate. Um, and they say black women are emotional, and they are, but that's a beautiful thing. Um, and they're much more spiritual than other women. I mean, I just there's something about black women that makes them special. And there are special women in all races, but there's something special about black women. And like I said, I could talk to black women when they're in their 20s or 80s, and I see by just talking to them and having like a friendship and a discussion, you could just see the beauty in them. You could just see their heart. I I mean, I could talk about this, and unless you experience what I do, if you have, you understand what I'm saying. Um, and I know black women get what I'm saying. Well, some don't. Some black women don't even see the beauty they have. They don't even see the potential, and the value they carry. And maybe it's because black women have been beaten down by society and a lot of times by men in their community. um, and they don't really see the true beauty they have, the value they have. And with the beauty and the value is power, and it can be a blessing, and I try to, tell people and, and explain how amazing black women are and being in a relationship with a black woman, whether it's a work relationship, a friendship, uh, a marriage. It's just a beautiful thing. It just, I mean, and I don't think people see that there. I don't think a lot of people's eyes are open,
Yeah,
and,
they're not
and they're not looking for true love, so they don't pick up on it. You know,
right.
a lot of guys tell me, "Well, a black woman, a white woman, an Asian, they're women, right?" Well, they don't get it. They just don't get it. Um, but some do. Some understand what I'm saying, but um,
Hmm.
yeah. But I could go on all night about this. What I try to do is show the truth and show the blessing that black women bring. A lot of times, black women don't get the credit they deserve. They a lot of times don't get the love and respect they deserve. And I'm just trying to do that. People say, "Well, you're trying to pander to black women." No, I'm trying to show love and respect to black women, and maybe and more men should be doing what I'm doing. That's it. That's what it is. But I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing and tell the truth. And I see something that is a beautiful blessing we can have that can change our nation. I just, but anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I think that, like I was saying, dating the black woman, as far as relationships, dating and marriage, this is probably one of the best times for us in a long time. Um,
Y-
because what we're looking for, like you said, love, relationship, connection. Most people aren't looking for that. It's about the sex, it's about the money, it's about what can you do for me? What can I get out of this when it comes
Yeah,
to relationship? So the dating pool, if you're actually looking for a relationship that is based and built off of love and commitment, honesty, treating each other like human beings, this is the time for you because most people don't see the value in that, but
right.
to people that do, it's the best time for you. So, um, love is a beautiful thing. It's the most strongest, powerful emotion in the universe. And, true love, real love, you can't fake it. True love, real
Yeah.
love. You can't mimic it. So I think that the best thing to do right now, if you're a person that's looking for a loving, healthy connection, you're on the up and up. You know,
Right.
it's just, in today's world, it's just not a lot of people that even want that. And even, there is going to become a time, I believe, when most people in society will want a loving, healthy relationship, and they'll still be able to get that, because they'll have love for themselves and love for one another. So, that's all I really wanted to, say on that. I think that, anytime you have a society that's based off of love, it starts with the individuals, and it starts with building those relationships, um, for the society as a whole to be based off of love. It's not going to be too many negative people that's going to be able to tear that down. They just won't be able to. They
Yeah.
won't be able to contaminate it, like I was saying. They just won't be able to. But because I see that people are trying. People are starting to catch on to the benefit of the black woman white man relationship. They're seeing that because why? Because myself and my husband, we were attacked so much, you know.
Right.
Um, so they see the potential, the benefit, or they perceive it or whatever. So I was looking at one of the questions in here. Somebody was saying, "What did I mean by patriarchy?" Well, the thing is, in order for a relationship to be able to sustain, um, under the patriarchy, if it was under the patriarchy, it had to abide by that system. So the relationships under that system, they they had to they weren't strong enough because relationships under patriarchy are not built and based off of love. So they needed that system. So the black woman in America, technically, we're not even a part of that system. So the black woman, any relationship that we have is not a part of patriarchy. So that's why people have such an issue with black women. They have a huge issue with the black woman white man relationship because a lot of them actually think it is patriarchy because of Brent's, because of Greg, because you all are a white male. And they feel that we don't deserve to be with you as a black woman because the black man was supposed to choose them over us. This is the issue that I've been coming across and why I've been so attacked by black men. One reason, because they're mad because Greg did not choose them over me. Because he's not a part of that system either, the black man. He would have to be chosen by someone who is in order to attempt to be a part of the system. So there's an attack on black women and white men because they feel like we're taking the white man away from their system. They feel like we don't deserve anything and we don't deserve to be with him because he's patriarchy. What they're not realizing is the particular white males, quote unquote, that we're vetting out are not from that system, or else they would not have a desire to be with a black woman. So this is the confusion that's going on.
Well, that's not entirely true. I mean, that statement is kind of like you're trying to speak for white men.
No, I'm not trying to speak for white men. I'm telling you about my own experiences.
Oh, okay.
What do you think?
Well, for me, patriarchy is a man that submits to God and leads his house according to how his heavenly father wants his daughter and kids treated, his community affected. That, to me, that is a functioning patriarchy.
Well,
It's
this
not.
is
It's
right.
not a dictatorship.
Well, the patriarchy that we've experienced under white supremacy was not a functioning patriarchy.
Well, I'm not talking about that nonsense because that is a twisted form. Basically, that's a lie. That's a falsehood.
And I'm
What?
talking, I'm
Okay.
talking from that perspective because as a Black woman that had to deal with that system, even though I'm not a part of that system, I've been attacked a lot from that system. My life was turned upside down, and all of the issues that I went through was because of that system. Even
Well,
the
as white men, we face that same system, but we look at it and say, "You're worthless to me," and walk off because you have nothing that I want. That that I mean, I walked away from family members because of the way they talk. I will not tolerate the disrespect of how they talk about different races.
Yeah, yeah,
And
you
I don't
gotta.
care if I ever sit in their company again. I will not. I will not entertain that type of hatred. I mean, to
Yeah, you
me,
gotta break
as a
away
Christian,
from it.
everybody's made in God's image. And if you choose to hate, well, then I am not going to sit in your presence.
Yeah, I've had to cut ties with some so-called friends and family members because of my relationship with my wife.
Well, yeah,
Um,
toxic is not tolerated.
yeah, sometimes you gotta cut
Uh-uh.
ties with certain people
right,
Yeah.
in within the system.
right.
Well,
Um,
even in some churches too, because when nobody's around, you get some of those church guys, and then they say something, and you look at them. I'm like, I mean, I even had to correct a deacon one time.
well, yeah, a church can be toxic too. Just
Oh my
because,
God.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
No, it just,
you just
first and foremost, I follow
hey,
God. I don't follow the just because you're older than me and what you say is I'm going to take it at face.
right,
I got my own
just
book I can read for myself.
right. Hey, hey,
Yeah, Auntie. Yeah.
Auntie, uh,
Yes. So I
how you
just want.
doing?
Hi, I'm doing well, and I
Good.
heard what Genesis explained about the patriarchy, and I
Uh-huh.
think the difference between what Corey explained and how Genesis explained um, is basically on a perspective. And when you're dealing with the patriarchy system, how at least the dysfunctional side, they're misogynistic. Okay, you
Hmm.
have misogyny, you have racism, you have social class, you have is discrimination, things that we're being discriminated against, the isms, the everything under that system. Now, what Corey explained is how a functioning patriarchy should be, where it's just the men provide, the men they protect their women. But as marginalized women, especially as Black women, being that we are Black people, we don't have those. We don't have those type of privileges or incentives. So we face those systemic inequities, which causes us to feel like hindered, like we have to play catch up to what other groups of people have the privilege of doing, especially women from other races, particularly like white women. But it's through the privileges. The reason why we were even granted privileges is because white women had those privileges, especially with the civil rights, and all these other movements that allowed us to have those privileges under because of so much of the discrimination and everything that was built under that patriarchy system. So it's a lot that we had to face. But as of now, it's a good thing that we were able to have granted these privileges and be allowed having those privileges to date outside our race instead of just being so race loyal and just putting up with things and being a ride or die and doing all that, while we ended up getting the short end of the stick. So we don't need to apologize to the naysayers. We don't need to apologize to the men that don't want to provide, that continually disrespect us, demean our image, treat us like we're just objects and things of that nature. So this is what Genesis was explaining, the fact that we didn't really benefit from them because unfortunately we were victims of those isms. We were victims of the system of white supremacy, and um,
Yeah.
we had to face those systemic inequities. Now, with that being said, we're not saying that all of white men are white supremacists, because those are two different type of, like,
Yeah.
situations and everything. Because we talk to Brent, like I can talk to Brent, or I can talk to other white men that are listening, or non-black men, and I can classify, okay, that they're not racist. You know what I mean? So we need to make that distinction, but understand how to just know that you are worthy and that you don't have to tolerate all this while you're in other races and stuff. So it's just basically
Right.
about self-esteem and knowledge and everything else. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you. Miss Ann, A.N.,
Yeah, and it's actually anti, but yeah, yeah.
you
Yeah.
said that so perfectly. What I was trying to convey also is I've been under heavy artillery and attack by people because of me being me and
Mhm.
because of me being with my husband. I mean, heavy artillery and attack. When you're dealing with toxic patriarchy, they want the femininity completely destroyed and deleted. They don't want you on the planet. They want you unalive and
Mhm.
work on trying to get you unalive. They work on trying to destroy you. Yes, um,
Mm.
that coming against myself and my husband is actually propelling us forward and helping us to succeed. Because
Mhm.
the patriarchy, as we had known it, that system was inverted. As they say,
Mhm.
what means for your bad, God means for your good. But at the same time, it has been a difficult uphill battle. I'm just now um, I understand the system in a way that a lot of people don't. And I try to, explain that to people. I try to use Brent, he's allowed me to use his platform to, to speak about some of the things. Sometimes I guess people get it, sometimes they just don't. But what I just want to say is because of the systemic racism, because of the powers, as I've heard before, the powers that were, because they don't have power anymore, they
Mhm. Mhm.
woman, teeth, and nail. When they see the black woman, when the previous cycle of patriarchy sees me and Greg together, my husband, he's white, they see Greg as a patriarchal male. But if
Mhm.
he's calling me as a black woman, they know that myself and you, they know that we're not a part of that system. So
Mhm. Mhm.
who's the F is this? And I'm gonna go by what they said to me. Who the F is this black so BITCH to be
Whoa.
What?
Girl.
and her to him is my boyfriend. This black BITCH doesn't do ish because they feel that he should have chose that system over me. They
Mhm.
because
Mm.
they see the white man as patriarchy. So when he's with a black woman, they're confused by that
Exactly.
because
Yeah.
with me and not with them. This is
Exactly.
in the worship of the anus right now. This is why you have male trying to with their badusi in the system of patriarchy right now. They
Mhm.
they could do a better job of being us. They don't feel that we deserve anything, and they don't feel that we deserve that marriage because he's supposed to have chosen them over us. When
Mhm.
you people when you saw the black man white woman relationship under the patriarchy in that system, a lot of times black men, the reason that they dealt with white women because they wanted to get into closer
Closer
proximity.
to what? Yeah.
White
Mhm.
Mm.
men with black men because they wanted to get into closer proximity to black women.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
Those challenges that I face, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, and we
Yeah.
just to Stone Mountain in Georgia, which is really nice. It's nice. Wes has been able to move. In Mechanicsville is one of the worst. Is listed as the 10 worst communities to live in Atlanta. You know what happens is because there's a deletion of the feminine energy, the melanin energy. It's gotten
Mm.
to the point where um, you'll have black males, or you'll have black males, for instance, because I'm in Atlanta. They'll get with transgenders, team up to go on a witch hunt after me. They team up, team up to go on a witch hunt after black women to tear you down because
Mm.
dominate using the worship of the anus. They see me with Greg as a sexual domination. You understand what I'm saying? Because they feel the white man is choosing, because to them it's about the sex, it's about the money. It's not about love. Like
Yeah,
Brent,
yeah. Mhm. Mhm.
they see with Greg, they feel that I'm sexually dominated because he's choosing another sexual agenda. As the Bible said, men traded in natural relations for unnatural. The black woman relationship is ushering in the worship of the vagina, the worship of the life force. These are different. This is a sexual agenda that takes us back to
Yeah.
source. So I'm just explaining all
Oh,
of this. I'm sorry to, it's just a little frustrating because I get on the show, and then I live my life, and I was attacked,
Mm.
you
what?
because of that.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
And you know what? Like it's funny you mention. I don't want to say funny, but it resonated with me when you mentioned how you get certain stares when you're in when you two are out together. I remember at a point that I would get certain stares and everything because my partner at the time he was a white man, and and it just like it's yeah, the thing about the patriarchy system, as I mentioned before, they're misogynistic. So if they want white men to get with their own, it's really an image. They don't treat women really as their equal like that, because I have, in my opinion, if they have a disdain for other groups of people, they're going to spill that disdain on women and other types of people. Like, it could be women, or it can be children, it could be disabled, etc., etc. So I just think that it's really to protect their image, instead of really to work together for a common goal. I mean, it's really sad that they're still trying to uphold that system when that system hasn't really helped to progress anything. I mean, that system is the reason why we're so behind on so many things in terms of protection, in terms of like opportunities or in things like that. They still oppress women in a way. Like, you're just
Right.
nothing except an object. And it's really exhausting. Like, we didn't have all these rights. We didn't fight for all these equal rights just to be treated as an option. So, you know, they have to get with the program. They're mad. They're mad because they don't want to see other groups of people, especially groups of women of color like us, to really kind of level that playing field. So, I mean, how you expect everything to progress? How do you expect the world to go? Because we're here aspire getting what we need to do. Like, we're out here getting our education, we're out here having businesses, we're out here really just doing positive things for ourselves. So instead of just looking at the surface level, instead of just looking at the phenotype and gender, how about you look within? Like, how about you just see the value and strip away
all these type of isms, strip away all the surface level, all the politics, everything, strip all that and accept us as who we are, you know.
Well,
So
yeah, thank you
Oh,
for that. Okay.
no, I just want to put this up here. White men who date and marry black women tend to be independent thinkers who don't care about societal pressures. That's true.
yeah, yeah,
Um, yeah, and I was like that. I mean, with black women back in the day, and even somewhat today, it's not accepted society by society in a way, um, where there were people that tried to discourage me, from doing that, from being attracted to black women, telling me that some people would say it's not right to do, you're too different, you got to stay with your own kind to find true love, you got to be with someone of your race because they're the ones that are going to love you, which is a lie. um and I was able to be a free thinker like that, where I could go my own way. I don't care about society and what they say. um and you're better off that way anyway. You're happy because there are men like me attracted to black women but choose to be with white women because society and family and friends tell them that's what they're supposed to do,
hmm,
and they're miserable, they're not happy. I'm happy. I'm living my life. I'm with the wife I want. And and because of my mother and father, that never tried to stop me and let me live my life. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. I can speak about black women, how much I love them, how amazing they are, and I feel good about it. Where there are white men that feel like I do, but they can't say it. They're afraid what someone might think. They're afraid that someone might find out, and it's stupid. And there are some black women just like that would love to be with a white man, but will never admit it because they're controlled by society. And the black women and white men that come together that have that power couple relationship that are successful are free thinking people.
yes,
They're building their own life. They don't care about what society thinks. Me and Sandy could care less. And when people attacked us throughout our marriage through the years, what we would do is we just love each other more.
Yeah,
yeah,
More
I
hate,
okay.
but yeah.
What I was gonna say too, I think the reason myself and my husband in the past we've been so attacked, is because they see the black woman white man relationship as dominating. We're
Hmm.
dominating
We are.
together. Yes.
Yeah. Let me
Exactly.
say something real quick about that. And some people are going to think I'm crazy. People talk about white privilege. People have told me, well, you got white privilege. And I say, you know what? I got something that's stronger than any type of white privilege. And that's power couple privilege. You have more wealth, you're more successful with a black woman than you are with a white woman. So white privilege don't carry the day in today's world. It's actually the black woman, white men that are having the most wealth, the most success statistically. And
No.
that white privilege is going to be buried. And the privileged couple is the black woman, white man. Why is that? They put in the most work and they get the best results. That's where the privilege is. Now, that ain't a privilege that society gives us. It's a privilege we take because we come together with true love, and we come together with character, and we build and we create our own privilege. And it's a beautiful thing because we're not taking from someone else to get our privilege, where white privilege back in the day took it from everybody else. But
oh
this
yeah,
is, yeah, this is a new thing.
hmm,
And, and it's something that's going to be honored by God because we were able to have the courage to step out, open up our options, and come together.
Yes. Oh,
Go
ahead. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I was going to say that's what I was trying to explain
Mm.
when I was, because I don't think people were understanding when I was talking about these sexual agendas that have been pushed. The black
Oh,
woman white relationship is dominating in love. It's not about the sex, it's not about the money, it's about the love. So during the toxic patriarchy, they were trying to they were dominating with these low feel sexual agendas, the worship of the phallus, the worship of the anus. They wanted they were running the system like that. And they wanted everybody else to be subjugated under that. It wasn't operating in love. So that's what I was trying to explain when I'm talking about these
I
agendas.
yeah, I think you're talking more of like a lust type thing when you said worship the anus. I think that's what it was. That's what I
Right.
got out of it. Not
That's why,
actually worship the anus, but actually worshiping immoral behavior. Right.
Yeah.
right. That's what I was
Right.
trying to explain because when the Bible
Yeah.
talks about when we exchange natural relations for unnatural ones. So when
Right.
you uninvert relationships, like the black woman white man relationship is an uninverted relationship, is not an inverted relationship. So so with that being said, it can operate in real pure love, and we're dominating in love. So that totally shifts the patriarchy because that's not the way that patriarchy operated. They operated in it's about the sex, it's about the money. They operated in lust, so they use low feel sexual agendas. That scripture, men exchange natural relations for unnatural relations. I just explained it. I don't think
Right.
a lot of people understand what I'm saying, when I'm trying to explain that or whatever, but whatever. But that's what I was trying to get at. When you go into certain scenarios, like when myself and my husband go into certain scenarios and different things, you have people still operating low field. You still have people operating in lust and low feel negative agendas. So if myself and my husband come around and we're dominating in love, that's an issue to them. So just the perception and the way they look at us is, you know, as if we're operating like them. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Right.
that's not the case. So the black woman white man relationship, a lot of it too. I mean, I can only speak for myself because I'm only with one white man. I'm only married to
Right.
one. But we're cleaning up these toxic sexual agendas just because we love each other, just because we dominate in love. So of course we're going to be attacked by people who operate like that. Of
Right.
course, we're going to be attacked by entities that operate like that, especially because I'm in Atlanta, especially being in Atlanta, but it's everywhere you go. It was in
Right.
Florida. So we're actually, that relationship, the black woman, non-black man relationship, it is actually flipping the system around
Yeah.
because it's something that they don't understand.
Mhm.
I know exactly who the bloodline I come from, my husband, and why people react to us and how we flip the system around. Our relationship attacks those low feel sexual agendas. I can tell when people are moving and operating like that because I've seen it so many times. And so our relationship not only challenges those things, but it basically disintegrates those low feel sexual agendas just because we operate in love. And I think that's a beautiful thing. I know it is. That's why I encourage, more black women. I encourage to, vet, of course, but date outside their race because, um, or just be single or whatever because you don't want to get caught up in those agendas. You don't want to add to them. You know what I mean? If anything, you
Right.
want your relationship to destroy negativity. You want your relationship to destroy all the negative things the negative toxic patriarchy brought. As a black woman, when we dealt with patriarchy, we didn't deal with the positive aspects of it.
Yeah, we never
Most
did. Hmm.
the negative aspects of patriarchy is what attacked us. So when you see now, it's like, they're looking at us now like, what? She got a white man. So a lot of people from patriarchy, they feel betrayed. They,
Hmm.
like by my husband, by Brent, they feel that you all are traitors. They feel
Right.
that you all chose us, the black woman, over them. And they're having this is why so many black men attack your channel, because they're having a hard time because they feel betrayed by you, Greg. They feel that you all chose us over them, because he's not a part of patriarchy technically either as a black man. He needs the white man to choose him to be a part of that system. So if you ended
Mm,
up with a black woman, where does that leave the black man?
mm. Wow.
I mean, there's a vicious, Greg has finally been able to put me in a situation where, I have a nice apartment and everything like that, but I need protection in a way that no other woman. I'm surprised that any man married me, because because I'm constantly attacked. I need constant, like Greg has to make sure that I'm constantly okay, because there's always somebody lurking, trying stalking me, all kind of stuff, because of the hatred of black women. You know,
Mm,
especially dark skinned black women bring more of a matriarchal energy. I think the potential that we have, we're a threat to that system. We're a threat to them. Our success is a threat to them, because they have a lack mentality. What are they going to have? If we have the white man, what are they going to have?
mm.
So it's personal. For me, it's just business, because I see so many of these people, I don't even remember their name. But for them, it's personal, because
Hmm.
it's feel rejected by my husband. They feel rejected as white men. I'm saying they feel rejected by the white man. If
Mm.
it was white supremacy patriarchy, that was you were able to discriminate against the black woman. You were able to, subjugate the black woman, and then one day the white man turns around and says, "I love her. I want to marry her." What? They're viciously
You
angry at you.
know, you know what? I just had a thought. Oh my God, this is a crazy one though.
Mhm.
Could it be that there are a number of black men that embrace white supremacy, that
Oh yeah.
embrace it? They love it, because if you think about it, just think about back during the Jim Crow days. Okay, for instance, you know, black women were forced to be with black men. They couldn't go nowhere else. Well, the wealthy white men that wanted to be with black women did. Okay, but you take, they kind of maybe embrace white supremacy, not in its full form, but like as without the Jim Crow, with being able to date out, to where I think black men have had their cake and eat it too for a period of time, because the black woman was forced to be loyal,
Mhm.
and then Becky would, go with the black man, because when they opened that up, part of a lot of the civil rights, a lot of black men were fighting to be with white women. They even went
Right.
to the Supreme Court way
Hmm.
before Loving versus Virginia. They
Yep.
wanted to be with the white woman. They did. And
Hmm.
when they finally opened that up, there for a period of time, black men had black women because they're loyal to black men. Then they can be with Becky or another group of women. And white men were totally race loyal. except the ones that would dip out every now and then, but mostly were race loyal, right? They were with Becky, and Becky had it. She was put on that pedestal and told she was the most beautiful woman ever, right? That's what white men did. So it's like, and I think about it in a way, black men and white women benefited from white supremacy. I know that sounds crazy.
No, they did.
They did, and it, and I'm not talking about the hardcore white supremacy where but I'm talking about the mild white supremacy when we're going out of that system,
Mhm.
kind of.
Mhm.
It's like a snapshot in time where black men could be with any group of women. Now it was looked down on, and you know, and and white society accepted that a white woman would go with a black man. They would just write her off as like, okay, she's rebellious, she's just messed up. And there's plenty of white women, so it didn't really matter. That's what I think they were thinking at the time. And then black men could be with the white woman, and black women were loyal to him. So it was like a competition thing. But now that things
Right.
are changing and more white men are opening up their options to black women, and black women are saying, you know what? No, I'm not going to cater to you anymore. No, I'm. You know what? You keep telling me I have to do better. Okay, I'm gonna go with Brad uh, or Chang Lee or whatever because he'll treat me better. And that's what's happening. And they're losing their mind. And white supremacy is losing their mind because once you lose the white man, white supremacy is dead. Once the white
Mm-hmm.
man says, I want to be with a black woman or another woman
Non-white.
besides the white woman, white supremacy is over.
Oh
Okay?
yeah. Oh
And then
yeah.
when once white supremacy's gone, black supremacy's dead too. It needs to happen.
Oh
And
yeah. Oh,
you
oh,
know,
oh yeah. Yeah, I have to agree with that because they in a way kind of coexist because now you have these divisionist groups and everything that are also upholding the system of white supremacy where you have like misogynist groups like manosphere, you have
mhm,
colorist groups or whatever, or you have these other groups like this all divided and everything, and it's like, as a people, as one, we can make things happen. We can get some laws or at least some acts to get
mhm,
passed, or we can get uh, women's rights to get pushed, all that. But, it's these divisionist groups that they created. Those groups, it all it did was just created a lot of friction. It divided us. It just it made us feel like our problems are so small when, let's say me as a woman, let's say me as a black woman, um somehow someone, a woman that, whether she's like from another race or whether she's mixed or whatever, she's going through those same issues. Like, why should I practice that against someone of another group when, if we're having those same issues and we need things to get passed, we need things to get solved, we can work with each other regardless of our phenotype or our differences or what have you. But
mhm,
unfortunately, we can't because of that, because we uphold this really disturbing ideology which further divides us, and we're just end up in this state of confusion. And now
right.
that now that they see that, yeah, like we are together, and they are losing their minds, but it's time for change. It's time for, and it's not going anywhere. That you cannot change what that man wants. He wants a black woman. He's going to go after that black
Mhm,
woman. He's, because he knows the value that not only can she provide to him, but she can provide to the family and everything. And this is something that they have to look past that surface and look within, where it's just, this is quality. We don't have to change anything about ourselves. We don't have to deal with the media telling us, oh, we have to look like a size 2, or we don't, or anything. We don't have to deal with all that
Right.
political garbage. It's just, we're accepted from within, and that's what matters. With black men, unfortunately, with the collective of them, they want you to have this unattainable beauty standards, and be in this type of crowd, just this ridiculous, like,
With a BBL.
yes, a baby. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They want you to.
He's trying
It's
to tell you.
disgusting. Yeah, and you're still not gonna get satisfied, because even if you try to even like alter yourself to attract those group of men, you're still gonna get abused. You still may end up being a baby mother. You're still gonna go through what we have gone through as Black women. So,
You,
I mean, you're not gonna.
you,
It's win or lose. You're not.
you know what's crazy is the thing about the BBL, and I know it's in the industry, and these women are getting alterations to their body,
Mhm.
getting the BBL, and some of these women are getting sick and almost dying. They
Yeah.
had a K Michelle. She did it, and she almost died. She got so
Yeah. You
sick.
remove
Yeah,
it.
they had to take it out. And this woman is naturally curvy. She didn't need to do it, but she felt that it was such a big thing that the more the better, right? And it's disgusting. And when they talk about white men with black women being fetishizers, I look
Mhm.
at this thing in the industry about BBLs and altering the body, and I'm like, isn't that a fetishization? Isn't that altering the body for
For nothing.
a
Yeah.
sexual desire? I
Yeah.
mean, but I mean, but yet then we hear these jokers go online and ridicule black women about their hair and makeup, about their
Mhm.
weave, or this craziness, and I'm like, okay, a weave, it's in there for a little bit. I mean, so what? But a BBL, I
That's a
mean,
life.
that's a
Yeah.
life choice, and it could be dangerous.
It is.
Um,
It's yeah.
but I look at black women, and I just like, I see black women in different sizes and shapes as beautiful. Like
Hmm.
you take K Michelle, right? She's beautiful. She's a curvy black woman. You take
Hmm.
like Whitney Houston. She's skinny, but she's a beautiful black woman. You
Yeah.
take you know what I mean? It just be yourself. Don't get caught up in that craziness. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
but
because they're spending thousands of dollars for temporary pleasure. For No, it's like, for someone that you think is going to like you, and you spend all this money just to attract a certain type of person, and then it ends up not going anywhere because that person just wanted a one night stand.
mhm,
And now you're stuck with this body, and then to even remove it, you paid so much money to have all these alterations, and then to even reverse the alterations, you're gonna also have to pay more money. I mean, you have to deal with the upkeep, and then you have to deal with exercising. They don't tell you, like, you have to people don't tell you that when you have those alterations and you have lipo or whatever, like, you still have to make sure that you are healthy. So whether your body is natural or not, you're still responsible for eating
mhm,
healthy, exercising,
right,
upkeep, going to appointments and things like that. And those things are really costly. And the best thing to do is just be natural. I just have to say, like, I'm just so fortunate to be from an era where that wasn't really so glamorized as much. What was celebrated was you being healthy, and just being beautiful, regardless of your skin
Right.
complexion, regardless of your hair texture. I mean, the girls from the 90s, when they had like shows, when they co-starred or starred in shows and stuff, they were beautiful in all walks of life. Doesn't matter what their complexion is, or whatever. But with vanity, people are losing their life over vanity, over things that
Right.
are unattainable, and it's just sad. It's sad to see that Black women, unfortunately, are becoming victims of it because they want a man. I mean, the thing is, it's just all about, you don't have to change anything about yourself to appease a certain type of group of men. Just be natural.
Yeah,
Be
just be yourself.
Yeah, just be yourself. Be
And
yourself.
Dust Divester said one lady lost both legs.
Most
Wow.
likes. Yeah.
oh yeah, I heard about that.
Wow.
And the
That's
media is a part of, whether people know it or not. They're pushing that agenda, the worship of the anus agenda. When
Mhm.
you're
yeah.
when you're adopting this BBL thing and all of that, you're
Yeah.
actually pushing these low field sexual agendas. I don't think a lot of women realize that. It used to be a time where men, like back, in what, like the 90s, I guess, or when hip hop first came on the scene, it was about women that had pretty, maybe a pretty face, or she had some
Right.
pretty feet. Maybe she was a big girl or whatever, but she had some pretty feet, and it was the era of the breast, the boobs. Women were celebrated for body parts that only women have, but an anus, I mean, a man has an anus, a woman has an anus, animals have an anus. How did we get to the point where uh women want to be well, I wouldn't say want to, the desires of men, but it got to a point where we're being celebrated for something that a lot of other mammals, I guess you could say, have. I just think it's weird,
Yeah.
to be celebrated for something that's completely, uh, but is behind your back, is under your back, So, um, so
Yeah.
it's another thing too. Um, when like Brent, when you were saying, it was like the white woman, black man relationship, it was a time where she felt she was desired by everyone, the white woman, and the
Yeah.
black man, he had access to whatever woman he wanted. So they liked that space. When black men dated out the race, you didn't see black women as a collective viciously angry about it.
No.
Even you didn't even hear, we weren't allowed to even have a voice about him dating out of the race. You really didn't even hear our opinion about it or what we
Right.
thought about it. Nobody cared. So to see this the other way around, and in this day and age, and the outrage of the black woman white man relationship, it's really interesting to me because we were never that angry. But there are many reasons that people are angry about the black woman white man relationship. There are a lot of reasons, so it's very heated for them. They feel some
Mhm.
type of way. Black women, we weren't as triggered by black men dating out of the race, nowhere near to this extent that they are to us. Because well, for a lot of reasons, but we weren't as triggered. So I just wanted to know, why do you think that is? Why do you think that black women aren't as triggered when it comes to black men interracially dating, but when it comes to black women interracially dating, not just black men, but everybody feels some type of way.
I I think it just disturbs it it just disturbs everything. The all society. Because look, black women, white men, we're the leaders of our communities. And we're expected to be loyal to our counterparts. white women expect white men to be loyal to them, and they don't like it when they're not. They might not say nothing because they know when a white man steps out, that's it. That you cannot change his mind. It's done. Um, and where the white woman, she'll date out, marry out, and sometimes come back, you know. But white men, we really don't do that. Once we go to the black woman, we belong to the black woman. It is what it is. It just, because when we, for us to go with the black woman, you got to understand we're disturbing the whole system. We're throwing it upside down. We're changing everything. We're not so much now, but when it started happening, we started upsetting white people and black people because it's changing everything. Like I said, white supremacy has to have the white man in the white community dominating that way, which it's not going to happen that way. It's going to change. And when it comes to the white man and black woman, when we get together, we're going to dominate because of the work we put in, uplifting each other, and the labor we put into it. And we're going to dominate because we're going to have a better result. Unless things change, but you know, Keisha and Brad are just killing it, where Becky and Tyrone are just waiting for each other to do something. I don't know. You know, like, hey, what are you going to do? You going? What about you? Where the black woman, white man, they just already go to work because they already know what they need to do, and they just do it. And then they really appreciate each other doing that for them, because look, I'm telling you, we as white men get more respect from black women than white women, hands down. Okay, we just do. And why is that? You know, um, when we date and marry out, we get more respect. Now, maybe not from the pro-black women that, but when we're in relationships, we get more from the black woman than any other group of women. We get more love. We get more backing. We get more respect, and you know, and then we just give our all. So we're going to have that power couple. Now, my opinion is, I always thought when Loving versus Virginia happened and they made interracial marriage legal in every state, I think, in my opinion, I think white men should have just went in droves and reached out to black women. You know, I do. I think we'd be better off in society if we did that. But you know, we're still coming out of that segregated mindset to this day. So it's a slow process. But
And I
slow and low numbers ain't a bad thing, because we're getting quality over quantity. But go ahead, Anthony. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add on what you were mentioning about dismantling the system with everything that's now going on in Hollywood, and people are getting dragged into the dysfunction that has been going on lately, and they're basically, and I feel that it's like everybody is seeing things the way it is. It's like you can't, the days of trying to manipulate situations through a PR machine is no more. And
Yeah.
you can't just put you can't just say things and put things out there to the public and expect for us to just take it as law or anything. Like, we're not taking these things anymore. Look at all these the allegations, and people are speaking up, and and people speculating on who's next that they're targeting and things like that. So I think right now it's starting to trickle up from that realm, from like entertainment and Hollywood and everything like that. and until it gets to the general masses, to the public. So yeah, it's just the fact it's like a top down thing where it's like, you know, that system is crumbling because you can't manipulate us. You can't just pigeonhole us and think that we're just going to we're only good enough for this, or we're just going to like we're asleep and we're expect to just be quiet and you say this and everything is fine. This is the era where we can question things. Like we don't let people think for us, especially the system. We don't let the system think for us. We can think for ourselves, and we'll have sources, if we will, to try to fact check. Um, and we're also capable of, or even having the ability to access resources, the history of like who really originated things. Like everybody, it's a known fact that we are the most copied in that realm. We're the most copied in terms of our art, our aesthetics, our body. Like we don't get credit, and I remember there was a speech that Michelle Obama did years ago, and I forgot her name. I don't know if it was Melania Trump or whatever, but it was somebody that
Oh yeah,
copied.
yeah, yeah. Melania copied her speech. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
yeah, she
remember. Yeah,
copied and pasted. Yeah, she plagiarized it, and she got away
yeah,
with it for the obvious reason. For the obvious reason. Now it's like uh,
yeah.
oh, I just wanted to say that nowadays, in other parts of Hollywood and everything, like I was mentioning weeks ago about the whole Blake Lively situation, and that how she wanted to hijack a certain film, and everybody is saying that no, what she's doing is wrong, she's unethical. It was someone else that actually uh, founded the, like, basically was the creator of that film, and he wanted to highlight and touch issues like through what women have gone through with
Mm.
violence and abuse. And this is such an important topic that hopefully that would have been passed on as a law or anything. But with these celebrities, it's like they want to think for themselves, and they think that because they got the clout, they got the power, they have the they have the connections, they got the money and everything, they can try to manipulate the situation. But because social media is there, and there's evidence and there's resources and there's prior interviews of how she's also done that to other people and thought that she could get away with it because of who she is. Nowadays, what worked back then, it's not working now because people are smarter now. There's evidence now. There's people that can also speak upon the bad experiences and how they were made to believe things. So you can't brainwash us to think that, we're going to take things as law, we're going to take it and then not do our research. I think that this
Right,
era is a research era. Like we have to fact check before we accept what you say.
right, right. And then with you know, we the we got so much information,
Mm-hmm.
and now they could do marriage stats and finding out black women, white men are a good fit.
Mm-hmm.
And people would have never believed that back in the day. I remember when I got married, people were thinking, nah, this ain't going to last. Those interracial things don't work. Oh, yes, they do. They work better than uh look.
Same, yeah.
I look at all my friends back from high school that thought I was crazy. Now they're like, wow, how do I do what you did? You were on to something. Yeah, I was. I could see. Um, but you know, it's just interesting, and talking to other men that have married black women
Mhm.
through the years, they almost say the same thing I do. and they see the same thing, and the the things that they went up against back in the day is what I went through, and people's opinion, and now we're like, wow, it's the best. Black women are the best option, and it's a character thing, and you could take white men and black men, and guess what? We both do best with black women.
Mhm.
Let that sink in. Black men, when they open up their options, they do worse. Okay, they're better off with black women statistically, right? Well, when white men leave white women and go to the black woman, he does much better. In fact, white men do the best with black women. And
Mhm.
I dare to say that black our men do better with black men than their own group. And that's starting to surface. And the data's coming out, and it's like, wow. So when you look at the black community, it's not black women's fault why the marriage rates are low. It's not black women's fault why they're single mothers, the ones that are. Most of the time, it's the men's fault. I'm not going to say all the time it's the men's fault, but most of the time it is. Because look, men control marriage. They really do. Okay. And if a man wants to marry you, he's going to propose, and he's not going to waste time doing it. Now,
Yeah.
if you don't want to marry you, he's just going to string you along and try to make you believe that one day he's going to marry you. But
Mhm.
I think Corey said, like, within 9 months, if he hadn't proposed, he's not going to. I don't know if that was the exact quote. What did you say, Corey? If the man don't propose with a certain amount of time, he ain't going to marry him. I don't know,
Yeah,
but
like within like maybe you saying 3 to 6 months, right?
yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
that's true. I proposed to my wife 2 months after. Um, but I knew I wanted to marry her. It wasn't like, oh my God, let me see. I don't know. Well, we'll see later. No, it was like, yeah, I want this. I want you to be my wife. I want this to happen. There was no confusion. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And unfortunately, women only get the best of what us men have to offer. And until us as men take accountability, women ain't going to have a better option. I mean, I'm just saying.
Mhm.
I I mean, some groups of men do better than others, but and I tell black women, open up your options. You're better off. The numbers are against you, and it's true.
Mhm.
But when we look at black women, our best option is to seek out the black woman. If you're a good man and you do right, you're probably going to do all right with a black woman. It just people that are usually fell with a black woman aren't doing the right thing. They're not treating her the way she needs to be treated. They're not loving her the way she needs to be loved. They're not respecting her the way she needs to be respected. I mean, really, when I look at it, that's really the problem. I mean,
Yeah. And it's just, to be honest, I didn't think that today would be the day that the system would get dismantled. I didn't think it was ever like I mean I do believe in the saying that what goes around comes around, and that
mhm,
like basically evil is temporary. I do believe in that. It's just the fact that it's going on today, with exposés and with um ideologies that no longer serve us, and you know the um the moves that we make in terms of just really trying and expanding our options and all of that, like that slow progression, along with everything that's being unraveled, all of that breaking down, what was against us all this time. And it's just, I just have to say, this is a great era. This is a great time to actually be alive, because it's, I mean, what can you say? Like, we came so long. Like, I wasn't born on the civil rights era, but
Yeah.
learning about what we had to go through, and all this segregation and the prejudice and everything, and then after that, we're granted rights to basically choose what we want and be happy and do what works for us, instead of just following a rigid system that was rigged against us,
Right.
women, Black
Right.
women. Yeah.
Well, and this is a perfect time for, I believe, for Black women to really excel. And you know, Black women in reality, by what we see, is the most beautiful woman. Okay,
Mhm.
you can't say she's not. You
Mhm.
could take a poll, and all these white men married to white women will say the white woman's the best because that's his wife. But really, people are trying to mimic the Black woman, look like the Black woman, and there are so many non-Black men that would love to be with a Black woman. A lot of them don't think they have a chance. I mean, but I think this is an opportunity for a Black woman to establish what she wants in life. It's time that Black women make it her world. Like, what type of man you want to be with, what community you want to go to. It's
Mhm.
yours. You belong in the community you want to belong to. It's not like the old days where you got to be with your own group of people. No, you go where you want. And I'm telling you, look, people are opening up to Black women more now than ever. White
Mhm.
people are accepting it more than ever. I look at my family, it's like it's night and day from back in the 80s when I opened up my options. It's like, oh my God, I'm not being looked at like I'm crazy. Being looked at like I know, like I got it together, like I got something that nobody else got, and they want it. And it's like, it's a beautiful thing. The
Mhm.
world is changing. And I tell you that for Swirl to investment, our time is now. We just got to make it happen, and it don't have to be in droves. It don't have to be thousands of white men go to a Black neighborhood to search for a Black wife. You're not going to see that. But what
Mhm.
you are going to see is you're going to see more white men with Black women, more older couples opening
Mhm.
up their options, more
Mhm.
middle-aged couples opening up their, more younger. I'm seeing it more in young. Look, when I go by the high school, I see young Black girls with white boys just holding hands and stuff. I didn't see that back in my time. Well, you did every once in a blue moon, but me and my wife Sandy were like, we stuck out. It was like, because it wasn't as common. It
Yeah.
was a rarity. Now it's like it's a norm.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah. I remember I was going to this restaurant and I saw a Black girl with he was probably Hispanic, but just seeing them together, seeing that union, it's just like wow, because back then it was like I, I don't know if I should say it's a taboo, but you don't see, like, I didn't see that back then. But then now it's like wow, it's really nice. It's nice to see women, that young girls that look like us, that have our image, and seeing other races of men happy with them. They're holding their hands, and they're like they look like they're probably in high school and everything, but
Yeah.
it's just yeah, it's nice to see that. It's like, and this is a definite win, and that is a confirmation where yes, black women, like, you can date out, you don't have to do too
Right.
much. Like, screw the BBL, screw all of that. Just be yourself, be yourself, be graceful, be beautiful, and you can also have the world as your oyster. And I just have to say now, like, this, we are the world now. Like, now, this is, how can I say, like, I don't know if I should get political with it, but we are the ones, like, this era right now with social media and with this with just everything that's going on with the information. We dictate now. Uh,
Right.
we don't have to take in the dictatorship anymore. We are the ones that determine what should be put out there, and we determine based on what we put our money in, and based on values and stuff. Because if we're supporting something, what value are we getting it? Helping is it helping us through, like, personal development? Is it helping us be protected? Is it helping us have better self-esteem, things like that? So we determine our future. We determine what's get put out, we don't. So this is amazing. Like, it's a long journey for us to have that power, for us to do what we can finally choose. But it's a wonderful outcome, and I'm just so thankful, and yeah, that's I'm just thankful for it.
Yeah, I just see it, and it makes me happy. I'm just like, yeah, and it's funny because my me and my wife see it. We went out to eat, right? We saw this elderly couple, and he was a white man, she's a black woman, and they saw us and they looked at us and waved, and it's like, and then they came over and talked to us, and it was neat. They were both widowers. Like, his wife died and her husband died, and they
Mhm.
opened up their options. They were good friends, and hey, that stuff is happening. And then you know we went to a football game, and there was this young couple. He was white, she was black, and me and my wife, and they looked at us, and we, like, waved and talked, and it was neat. They were getting ready to get married, right? And we were telling them, yeah, we've been married, and this was like a couple years ago. We said 28 years because we were at the 28-year mark, and they're like, oh my God, you've been married that long. And it was a neat thing. It was almost like we're passing the torch. But yeah, but we're seeing that, and that is a good thing. That's, in my opinion, it needs to happen. I mean, we could do worse things than loving each other, right? I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But anyway, um, dang, we've been on for 3 hours and 21 minutes. I might have to wrap it up soon. But
Yes.
guys, I'm enjoying this though. I really appreciate you guys coming up. Um, this is a great discussion, and my whole point is open up your options. And
Hmm.
my message tonight was to white men and non-black men to open up to black women, get to know the black woman. No, and I mean get to know her as a friend. How she thinks, because a lot of times we buy into stereotypes and what we think people think, and a lot of times black women have their guard up. Okay, and this is my message to white men. You're interested in black women, talk to black women, pursue them. Are you going to get black women that have their guard up, that don't trust you, are uncertain? Yes. Okay. But just take into consideration that a number of black women have been told that you're racist, you're evil, you're a creepy fetishizer, all these crazy things, okay? And when you're told stuff a lot of your life, you tend to believe it even if you don't want to. So take that into consideration. But those walls will be broken down, and when the black woman gets to know you, she'll be telling you, dang, you're awesome. I didn't think white men could be so nice and loving, and you're going to hear that because that's what I was told back in the day. Oh, I thought you would be this way. Well, no, why would I? Well, that's what we've been told. Okay, so take that into consideration. And black women, a lot of times white men are interested. They don't approach because they don't think you're interested at all. Because a lot of times we hear that outspoken pro-black woman that just wants to uplift the black man, and then you think, wow, well, they're not interested in us. Don't believe that. you know I'm just saying. But yeah. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna have to shut it down. Um but I appreciate you guys coming up. I'm gonna go ahead and go around, and you guys want to give a final statement before I shut down?
Sure.
um okay. We'll let the ladies go first.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I enjoyed being here, and I enjoyed the nuances that we were able to discuss, especially when Genesis had expound on her experience, and but she was able to overcome that by basically educating us about the patriarchy and what we had to go through versus the patriarchy and what it should have been. So it definitely resonated with me. And I just wanted to say that, Black women, the world is your oyster. You don't have to let people try to dictate what you should and shouldn't do. This is your happiness. You don't have to follow a crowd. You don't have to follow those that tell you to be racially loyal. Just do what's best for you. Do what's in your heart. And if it's coming from a non-black man, and he shows and he provides and he is a great example of what a man should be, then definitely open up your options, because there's so much that can be offered to you. You just have to allow that. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. I have to step down, but it's a pleasure to speak with all of you.
Oh, thank you, Atai. And it's always a pleasure talking to you. And you're
Oh,
welcome up here anytime.
all right. Thank you. You have a good night.
You too. Thank you. Okay. Enjoy. Go ahead.
Yes, I just want to thank everyone for having me on the show. Thank you, Brent. I hope I was able to, I was trying to explain, just from where I'm coming from or whatever, what
Right.
myself and
Right.
my husband have been through, how we've had to um protect our marriage, from being attacked. But love always is gonna prevail. The black woman, white
Right.
man relationship, it dominates in love. It supersedes any industry, any system within the system of the toxic patriarchy. And they're not like us.
Right.
So that's all I want to say on that.
No, I appreciate you coming up here and explaining, and we learned a lot. And I appreciate that, Genesis. I always love having you up here. It's always, you know, it's always awesome to talk to you and get your perspective. And no, what you said was making sense. It's just sometimes we gotta, let it sink in, and we hear some words and like, oh, what you mean? But we got it. You explained it pretty well, and
Well, I have an
I
extreme.
appreciate that.
Well, thank you. I have an extreme perspective, I guess, to some
No,
people.
no, that's good.
I'm
No, nothing wrong with
just
that.
saying that when it comes to the black woman, white man relationship, and when it comes to, the shift in consciousness that's going on, I'm like all in. I'm way on this side. You know what I mean?
Right,
So, because of that, I've experienced probably a lot of backlash, negativity, things like that. And also being a black woman in America, being a dark skinned black woman. So when you're on I'm on the winning team, but I am the winning team. You know what I mean? So of
right,
course I experienced a lot of hatred, backlash, and things like that. So my perspective, I know that my perspective is probably on the extreme side, but that's because, um, you know, that's just who I am.
right.
So
Nothing wrong with that. No, that's what makes you awesome. So, but yeah, we appreciate that. Thank you so much, Genesis. Yeah,
no problem.
and you're welcome here anytime, young lady. Okay.
Have a great one.
You too. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, Mr. Corey, my brother from the Great Northwest.
Good show, Brent. Very good show,
Oh,
brother.
thanks. I appreciate it. I had a good time. Uh,
Yeah, the it was really good. I could tell when it was when the ladies started to talk, so it was just like it just worked out perfect. So I just like sat back and chatted.
yeah, yeah. The ladies were awesome. I
Yeah,
I
they
just
are.
Yeah, they always are. Genesis is awesome, and
Hmm.
Anti. I always love hearing from the ladies and stuff. And but
I was talking to some of the wonderful ladies in the chat, and I
mhm.
almost wish that we could put on like some type of instruction videos and stuff. Like some short, I don't know, like interactive tutorials or something, kind of like like you see on YouTube, where they're like a minute or 60 seconds or 40 seconds, about the flirting between black women and white men. It's,
Oh yeah,
white guys are really simple. I mean,
yeah,
any white man that's interested in a black woman, he's completely serious about going forward, but how to get their attention is really basic. I
yeah.
mean, I'm not going to say they're simple in the fact that they're stupid. They're just simple in the laws of attraction.
Right,
It's not as difficult as people seem to think it is. just it's just not. I mean, we're 80% visual. There has to be something visual to key the because you're not going to walk up to a strange woman without an invitation. And you don't need words to invite.
right.
I mean,
Well, it-
bo-
my
body
my
language
thing
and gestures is a lot.
it is, and I tell you, what was always the green light for me was the eye contact and a little smile, and I was like, yeah, yeah, it's time to go.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
it didn't take much for me. If I got that,
Well,
I
it's
got a
not
chance.
going to. Well,
Right,
because if you're staring at a pretty woman, you obviously mesmerized by something beautiful. Obviously,
right,
so
right. But
if you see her eyes make contact with yours, I mean, okay, ladies, you see a man staring at you. Is he cute? Yes, no, maybe, whatever. If you want more attention, tilt your head to the side, smile gently, give him about 3 to 5 seconds for his blood pressure to calm down. First of all,
Yeah.
we're men. Just, we're not crazy. It's just we deal with testosterone. Let it
Right.
subside just a little, and then, like, you know, tilt your head back, like, come on over. Find out what
Yeah.
happened. I
Eh,
mean,
You know what? Somebody asked me, how do you know that you love black women back in the day? How did you know? Well, when you're around them and your blood pressure, your heart is racing, you're nervous, you're trembling and excited all at the same time. Yeah, that's when you
well,
know.
for me, I was 9 years old, and for me, it was literally that warmth
Yeah,
that came off of her. I wanted more.
right.
It wasn't sexual or anything else. It was just that.
Yeah,
And it's hard.
it,
It's hard to put it into words.
they don't understand that a lot of us white men that are really attractive to black women, it's something that goes deep. It a lot of times to our childhood, where we felt that warmness, that we felt that love from a black woman, and it stays with us forever. And in
Yeah.
fact, it totally changed my whole life. If you think about it, it directed me in a way that nobody seen coming. But
Mm-mm.
it's a beautiful thing that happened, and I embrace it, and I'm just like, you know,
I
and
think your mom and dad knew.
oh yeah, they did know. But you know
Run
what? They're
across the
like,
waiting room and jump in a lady's lap, basically.
yeah,
He's
they,
friendly. No, he just thinks he likes black women.
well, it's funny. Yeah, my mom told me about that. Like I was like
Mm.
2 or 3 or something. There's a black
Mhm.
woman in a waiting room, and I guess she said hi to me and talked. So I went over, sat right next to her, and put my arm around her. And my mom's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And the lady's like, "Oh, he's real friendly." No, he's really not. He just likes you. But I mean, I don't know. It's just something about black women, and when true love is innocent and it's pure, and I think children absorb that, and they you know they can feel that, and it's a pure love. There's no sexual
Mm-mm.
thing attached to it. It's just pure love. It's innocent. It's you know what I mean. But
Well, yeah,
anyway.
you get around the right person. For us, it would be the right woman.
Hmm.
And age is irrelevant. It's not about the sexual desire for the most part.
Hmm.
It's you could just feel that chemistry. It snaps. I mean, they talk about like a
Yeah,
I don't know, like a twin flame. They got all these different, things that go with it, like soulmate and all that stuff. Well, I don't know if I really believe. Well, I'm a Christian, so to me, I believe it's more spiritual than anything else,
it is. It's very spiritual. Yeah,
and
and it's
it's
of God too. It's God has a purpose, and we all have a purpose in life. Every one of us does.
mhm.
Uh, you know, just some people don't fulfill their purpose because they don't want to follow. But I mean,
Well, think about a man or a woman that gets with the wrong person. Now you're in a covenant with a counterfeit,
yeah, yeah, that's
locked
true.
in. That is the
Yeah,
most draining thing you could ever experience. It's something you never want to do.
right.
You sidestepped it. You missed it altogether. That's why I watch your show all the time.
Yeah,
I
I
like to see
appreciate that,
people do
Corey.
it the right way. I really do.
I, I appreciate that.
All right,
Well,
I'll get off there. This is gonna
yeah, we better stop. I gotta close down.
yeah.
But hey, Corey, it is a pleasure talking to you, brother. I always have a we always have good conversations, and I enjoy this. This was fun tonight.
Yeah, it's a good
Look,
show.
I never really had a time I went live and didn't like it. I mean,
Hmm.
I've had good and bad shows and in between, I think, but I've always enjoyed it. Even if it
Hmm.
didn't turn out right or something. Um, I've always enjoyed doing this. I always enjoy sharing my experience, my life, and and
Well, when you've had a blessed life, you want to brag about it.
yeah, and you want to
Yeah,
share it with other people, yeah.
yeah, it's perfectly normal.
Yeah. Well, good night, Noletti.
All right, I'm
Yeah.
gonna get off here, bro.
All right. Have a good night, Corey. We'll talk again, brother.
Okay, blessings from Oregon.
All right. Thanks, brother. All right, guys. Uh-oh. I had that covered. Okay, guys, thank you for watching tonight. Um, I do appreciate it. I had a good time. Thank you, everybody on the panel. Uh, Corey, Genesis, Anti, and everybody in the chat. It's good to see you guys. Um, I hope you enjoyed the show. I'll be on again next Saturday. Okay. I might have a prayer meeting Monday night. I'm thinking about doing that. If I don't do it Monday, it'll be Tuesday, either Monday or Tuesday. Okay. I'll have a short prayer meeting. Um, but you guys have a good night. Um, and consider opening up your options with black women. They're amazing, beautiful women. Only if you're a good man. If you're not a good man, don't stay away. But if you're a good man with a big heart, open up your options. And black women, just live your life like it's your world because it is. You know, and don't give yourself to a man that don't deserve you, ladies. Okay. Um, you are that beautiful blessing. Okay. Um, bring Sandy. Yeah, she'll be coming on soon. We're going to have our ladies' night show. Um, and that'll be fun. Um, but I'll see you guys again. You have a good night. God bless you and your families. I'll see you next Saturday. Well, Monday or Tuesday for a prayer meeting. But the Saturday night show will be next Saturday night. And if you have any topics you want me to talk about, just email me at Roadrunner nm89@gmail.com. It's in the description box, my email. So if you need to get a hold of me, just feel free to email me. If you want to do a show, if you want me to say a prayer for you, me and my wife, okay? Um, you know, my email's there for that. But you guys have a good night. God bless. I'll see you next Saturday. Have a good night.